Yo, guys.
Yo, what's up? Are we backstage or are we live right now?
I don't know, but we're here either
We are
way.
live now. Yeah.
Okay, we're here right now. What's up, everybody? Uh, Welcome to our main show. Yeah, we're kicking off the Web3 Summer Game Fest right now. I'm your host, Paul with CARV. You guys might know me from our spaces. We're super excited to have you guys here today. We got a great list of games coming through, and we've also got, one of the biggest influencers in the space with us today as my co-host. Bryson, what's up, man? How you doing?
Oh my goodness, I get the word influencer far too often. I just play video games, but it's cool to be here with the Carve team, going through games, excited to explore games. How are you doing, Paul?
I'm doing good, man. Doing good. Been a long few days getting ready for this, but super excited to kick us off. Just to give our audience a little bit of a heads up, we got games like Shrapnel coming through, Grand Saga Unlimited, Stella Fantasy, Big Time, Phantom Galaxies, a bunch of games, 13 or so great games. So make sure to stay the whole time. And we'll be getting the first one on in a couple minutes. I feel like our conversation got cut off though, but Bryce and I were just talking backstage about anime and Japan and stuff like that. I feel like we should spend the whole show talking about that rather than talking to these games.
I mean, we literally could. I know the Demon Slayer finale happened here recently. I still haven't watched it, so I'm a little bit behind, but I'm a huge anime guy. A lot of hours put into it. But the one anime I have not seen yet, One Piece. I've heard that I needed to jump into it, but it's far too long for me.
I'm in the same boat, brother. 1,000 episodes and I check out. But I do know the live the live show or the live action version Netflix is doing, which should be really fun. Not too sure if I'll jump in on that, but it looked hit or miss for sure.
We'll see. We'll see. But outside of anime, again, we're getting to explore some incredible games today. I've only played Shrapnel once, so this is going to be really interesting for me in terms of being able to see, how other people react to it. We have a chat going and all that good stuff. But from your perspective, out of the games on
Yeah.
the list, what have you been able to jump into so far, and what looks new to you?
You mentioned Shrapnel, brother. I was at Consensus a couple months ago, and Shrapnel had an amazing booth there, and I actually got to play the project. For a little bit, I had the high score of the show. They tweeted me out. It's somewhere out there on Twitter. I flexed it. It's a big time thing. But other than that, I haven't had the opportunity to play too many of these games. What about you?
It's actually crazy because I was playing Shrapnel at Consensus as well. I'm surprised we didn't bump into each other on the battlefield, but it was a good game. I think that it's one of the better ones that we've seen in the space so far, and they're doing things the right way in terms of the build progresses and not falling too much into the Web3 jargon that they fail to realize the importance of bringing in Web2 users, but they're still
Yep.
very early. I think one of the things that really gravitated me towards that game, they have a pretty cool advisor partnership with a legendary Fortnite streamer named Myth, who
Yep. Myth was
is
there too.
yeah, he's doing a lot of advisory work and creating content and really looking to push the message out there of what they're doing, which I think is awesome for our space, and excited to see more games jumping to those partnerships. But I mean, outside of that, big time I've jumped into also seen a little bit of Aperion. I did a little bit of backstage research on Grand Saga Unlimited after our conversation yesterday. So there are some
Yep.
pretty good looking games on the board. And I got to play Champions Ascension at Web3 3XP, which was also a lot of fun alongside some Web2 gaming legends, Meteos and also Yasuo. So I've gotten a lot of Web3 gaming in over the last couple of weeks, and I'm just excited to jump in and see what these games have to offer, but then also what their teams are thinking, get the behind the scenes thoughts around where the game is, where the dynamics of the market are, and really see how they're going about building in a bear market, but also understanding that things are changing. But Paul, I want to throw it over to you because we've seen a lot happening in the United States versus Asia in terms of regulations around gaming tokens. And it does feel like Asia is the place to be if you're trying to build a Web3 game. And you being someone who has transitioned and you've taken the plunge and you're out there, how's that been?
It's been great. Before I address that, I do want to comment. You mentioned Shrapnel's not focusing on the Web3 jargon. I think every game today we have coming through is really focused on building fun games. So great point by you. Two, like I mentioned earlier when I was on the phone with you, everybody in Asia plays games. Anywhere I'm on the metro, people are gaming with their phone in their hands. So I definitely think, I'm bullish on Asia rather than the United States right now as things stand for Web3 games. With that said, brother, I think we're going to bring on our first guest. We got Big Time
Ooh,
coming on. So, yeah, let's bring in Big Time. And I think we got Evan from there.
that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how this goes.
Hi guys,
What's
can
up,
you hear
Evan?
me?
Or I guess we may have Ian. What's up, Ian?
Yeah, can
Yo,
you guys
yo.
hear me?
Yeah, we hear you well. How's it going?
Good. Can you see my screen? Can you see my face?
Not quite, not entirely, but we have hope. We have hope that you're gonna that the camera's gonna make it in as well.
100%. While we figure out that camera, I know we do have a plan to showcase, the latest trailer from Big Time. And I think we now see you. So why don't we play that trailer and then let's jump into the game and some questions.
Sure.
Ooh, I'm excited for this.
100%. Okay. Pretty good. No, I hadn't seen that yet, but that was pretty exciting.
Yeah. Actually, it's a
That was
pretty
nuts.
old trailer. Yeah, we have a pretty new trailer coming in probably in like 2 weeks. We have a pretty big updates soon about our token launch. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, we can see you now too, Ian. What's up, brother?
Nice. Thank you guys. Yeah, nice to meet you. Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah,
we
good to have
appreciate
you
having
here.
you on.
Mhm.
Yeah, Bryson, do you have any initial question or should we just jump into it? What do you got?
Yeah,
What
I
do you think of the
can
trailer?
jump in with one. I thought the trailer was really cool. It feels as though we are finally starting to see more lore being introduced into the game. So I want to
I'm a
start
big
there
lore
because
guy.
especially when in those sorts of games, I'm a very big lore guy like yourself, and I think lore would make a game like Big Time big time. So I want to get your thoughts, Ian. How has the process been of building out the lore for this game, which is already incredible? We've seen it in the space for quite some time, and now it's like the iterations and creating that next layer that's going to keep gamers hooked.
So actually, to be honest, I think like since from this year, we focus more in Web 2, like traditional
Sure.
gamers, because in the beginning, our founder, was also the founder of Decentraland, and he started Big Time for 2 reasons. The first reason is he feels like Decentraland is like too Web 3. It's hard to like access to Web 2 people. It's not so much fun, and it's required like Wally connection, a lot of things. The second is like by that time, like 2 or 3 years ago, like Axie Infinity is like typical blockchain game, but that's actually not a fun game. So we want to really make a fun game accessible to all Web2 gamers, and also with a pretty clear Web3 economy, which is sustainable. So I would say as the game getting more and more fun, we will get into more into Web2 because in Web3 they are farmers, token farmers. But Web2, they are gamers and purchasers. So we're
Yep.
pretty happy to see like we're also growing Asia. I listen to you guys talking about Asia. Like now we grow a lot in like Taiwan, Hong Kong, Korea, and Japan. Also in US. The US still the biggest country. So I think we will keep developing the game because we have like updates probably around 1 or 2 months. The game is getting like more and more fun. So probably in next page, probably in next month, or add more like friend system, matchmaking system, new dungeon, new class, new enemies, new conversations. It's gonna be more fun. Yeah.
That's awesome. I mean, I'm all about playing fun games. And I think you alluded to something Bryson and I were talking about a little earlier too, about focusing on Web 2 and actual gameplay and attracting actual Web 2 gamers. I feel like right now in the space, we're kind of in a bubble. Bryson, I mean, you kind of would probably agree about this. We're all talking to the same kind of people. We really need to attract those traditional gamers.
Yeah, I think that, to that point, we have everything that we need from the nuts and bolts to implement the Web3 side. And I think in the early stages, there was a lot of testing and figuring that out. And when I first jumped into Big Time, it was like a completely different realm because Big Time had the actual game in a world where there weren't that many actual games. And I was like, man, this is really cool. So we would jump into the dungeons. One of my largest TikToks actually came when I like went into the dungeon, killed something, and got the little
Get
pop up
NFT.
NFT looted. Yeah. So
Right.
from my perspective, it's been like a fun ride watching you guys progress and figure out and learn the things that you want to add and like what keeps those retention loops super popular. But I want to kind of take it back even a little bit further, where you guys have been one of the industry leaders in the space, and especially in the gaming genre and category. What has been probably I would say the hardest task in terms of marketing and onboarding regular gamers? Is it the influencer side of the world? Is it just open grassroots marketing on socials? Kind of where have you seen the struggles and where have you seen successes?
Yeah, so I think the barrier right now is like, because when we don't have any playable demo, we can only market in Web3. Because like if you have a good looking deck, if you have a good team, you can get a lot of money, you can sell NFT, but you cannot definitely market to Web2 gamers. So like I'll say like 2 years ago, we focused 100% on Web3. So we have a lot of Web3 content creators post a lot of video about NFT, blockchain, crypto about us on YouTube. So it made it a little bit difficult for us to reach out to like Web2 gamers, because they still think NFT is a bad word. So like because we focus on Twitch right now, we send DM to them to invite them to play our game. Some of them we search big time on YouTube, and they will see those old content creator video about talking our like Web3 economy, NFT, some kind of stuff. So they will feel like it's kind of like a scam, But there's only a small portion of them. I was saying like, because we definitely show the game video to them as well, so they can see the game is so high quality. So like I would say like fewer and fewer people refuse only because we have NFT in this game. So I think as the game quality is getting higher and higher, definitely the problem will be like smaller and smaller. So I think that that's fine. And you just asked how to define success. So I think they are like, I think right now, because we focus on Twitch, the most streamed blockchain game on Twitch, you know what game it is?
Right now, are you gonna say up
Is it still,
only?
is it still,
No,
is it still
yeah,
Axie?
Axie, still Axie.
Axie, yeah.
But Axie hasn't grown for around a year, but we grow really fast. So I think probably in a few months we'll become the best one, and we'll also become the biggest community of Web3 game. Now we have 400K followers on our Discord. Axie is still the biggest one with 700K. So I think if we have more player in the community, we have more stream hour on Twitch, we have more consumers in our game, I think that will be a success for us. Yeah.
That's awesome. And even from my perspective, you talked a little bit about token launch. I'd love to learn more about how the token plays into the wider ecosystem. I've bought a couple of NFTs, so my character's pretty decked out in like a ninja type outfit. And like, will I be purchasing the future things with the coins? Like, what does that look like?
Yeah. So in terms of date, I don't have a date yet, but it will be pretty soon, probably within a month. And we will have the token launch in the game, so player can start getting the token in a game, and they can make cosmetics in a more like consistent way. Like right now, you can only depends on your luck. Like if you are lucky, you get NFT. If you are not lucky, you play like a week, you get nothing. But in the next stage, you can get some like shards, like small pieces of cosmetics, and you drop it to the forge, and you can get cosmetics. You can just produce. So that's for the producers. And for gamers, they can also spend token in a game, because in the future we'll have some limited dungeon or limited activities that you have to unlock with the token. So that's also, they need to spend token to either become stronger or become like more good looking. So they spend a token, while the Web3 producer, they produce token and they produce the cosmetics for them to consume, to buy. So that's a really sustainable economy. Yeah.
Nice. And kind of one last question for you here, Ian, because we're running on 10 minutes. Talked about the upcoming token and stuff like that, but in the next few months, what are you most excited about in terms of gameplay updates that players should look out for when it comes to big time?
I have to definitely like guild feature. Like right now, there's no guild feature, no friend system, no matchmaking. So it's kind of hard. You have to all gather in like one instance server and team up. And in the future, we'll add guild features so people will get more easily to communicate with the friends and form a guild, build a stronger emotional bond in it. So they will spend definitely more time in the game. So I think that it will be definitely the most exciting thing, because the key of MMO is the relationship between people. So guild feature is definitely the most a key to that. So I'm really looking forward to it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to jump in and get me into a guild. Bryson, what do you say? Should we start one up when that feature drops?
We might have to. We got to get some people though. There's some pretty crack people who level up and they go deep into the dungeon. So we're gonna have to go hard on making sure if we do it, we get the right people to get through those hordes.
100%. Yeah, thank you so much, Ian, for dropping in.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you could just drop it. But yeah, shout out big time. Really loved having you guys, and we're definitely going to be looking forward to playing some of it.
Thanks for inviting.
Appreciate you.
Man, what do you think?
Is awesome. I really like what they've been doing, man. I think that Big Time is a game that has the makings and the nuts and bolts and the structure to be incredible, and not just incredible from the Web3 aspect, but I think they understand game making. And once they figure out how they want that lore to continue to play in, and that just happens with iteration. Great games are not made in a day, a week. Rome was not built in a day, as the saying goes. So I think they have all of the pieces to get there, and it's exciting to see them continue to build out, regardless of the market, and build new things. We're going to see a token come out of them, and we're probably going to see a really cool way to do your own customizable cosmetics, which is also awesome. So shout out to Big Time. Excited to see what they continue to do.
Yeah, I'm a little jealous, bro. I feel like there's going to be a lot of projects that come on that you've gotten to play that I haven't jumped into yet. So I'm just itching for that player's perspective. I can't wait to get my hands on it for sure.
I think some, and then I think there will be a couple where I'm man, I feel a little bit out of my depth, but that's why we're here together to lean on each other,
team, brother. Yep.
and crush it together. So that's going to make our lives a lot easier.
Yeah, introducing our next project, Stella Fantasy. We've got Skylo, their community manager. What's up, Skylo? Can you hear us?
What's up?
Figuring out some technical difficulties, I think.
Skylo's voice is high-low. We'll
Super excited to dive into this one, though, bro. I'm kind of a sucker for all the anime type of games, like that gacha type. So very excited.
You know what's crazy?
To talk.
I never was I never played Genshin Impact, and when I saw this, my first thought was okay, so it's it's very similar to Genshin Impact, and the anime style thing. It reminds me of Genshin and Final Fantasy from a actual visual perspective. I think the art is really good. I have not hopped into the game, I will say, so this is new on my front as well, but I have heard the musings of it, and also my community members have jumped in, so I'm excited to see kind of how that is, how they've been building, what the process looks like on the back end. I mean, the overall, I would say, inspiration behind going with this style of a game, because it is ultra popular right now, but it's also important to know that you got to separate yourself from the pack in a world where there are other games that are in the same genre class. So it'll be very interesting to see what their thoughts are, and then how they perform in the US versus over in Asia. I'd love to get those kind of characteristics underway. So it'll be fun.
We will definitely take a look at that. I think Skylo's having some mic issues, so we're gonna go ahead and play the trailer, get a little bit more of a look, and then jump into it when he's cleared up.
Let's do it.
Yeah. I got to take a look at this one earlier. It was really cool.
This is awesome.
Yeah, it's sweet. Oh, that was sweet. Something I love about those trailers like that is it just goes all out on gameplay. It looked like a lot of fun. I think Skylar also figured out their mic. What's up, Skylar? Can you hear us?
Nice. Maybe not.
Maybe not. Maybe not. What'd you think of that trailer though, Bryson?
I mean, I think the trailer is incredibly high quality. I think they're showing like another really solid game that's doing things the right way and building the right way, but also sticking very closely to the ethos of like those styles of games and the art and then the battling experience. It's very much a polished game, even in the early stages, which is like super exciting for where our industry has been.
100%. I
What are
do
your
have to
thoughts?
expose myself as well. I haven't played Genshin. I have it downloaded on my PC, but I haven't played Genshin. But
Yeah.
I have, looked at a bunch of games like this, and like you said, super polished. And I've gotten to know this team a little bit over the past few weeks. I definitely know they're focused on gameplay and they're less worried about the Web3 jargon like we've been talking about, which is a great theme for the space moving forward.
No, I totally agree. And if you just look at the trailer and see the connectivity around like the players and then the game world, you can tell there's thought, time, effort, energy put behind it. But then also, they've done a great job in getting people in the right way. I know when they first were launching, I think it was like their alpha or their beta, they reached out to a lot of different content creators. And, we all had the opportunity to, get our communities involved from a very early stage. And it didn't cost a dime to get them involved. They just wanted people to come in and test and give them feedback. So, from my perspective, that's how the early stage game building should be, especially in a world where we are seeing this dynamic change. So really good stuff coming out of Stella Fantasy, and hopefully we can get them on the mic
Yeah,
because
it'd be
I want to
great.
hear I want to hear their thoughts, man.
Skylar, you there? Have you been able to figure it out?
We do have some thoughts coming in from the community. Drixon says, I play Stella Fantasy. Graphics are great, but game-wise, I'm not impressed. Well, one thing I would say to take into account, especially in the early stages, is probably similar to like, big time from the understanding of it still takes a lot of time, energy, and effort to like build out with the lore system. I think lore is actually more difficult than the actual graphics and then making the game look good, because you can do that and then have that loop of just fighting and still miss like the interconnectivity pieces that make communities and make people, one, want to play the game solo, and then two, want to play it with their friends. So I think like understanding both of those dynamics and trying to get them right can be quite difficult at times.
100%. I do know the team is pumping out a lot of content still and always working on it. They just dropped a bunch of new characters. I think there's over 20 characters you can play from with all their different abilities and stuff. And I love when games like this give different players the opportunity to play different play styles, because everybody games differently. So I really appreciate that from the Stella Fantasy team for sure.
Yeah, and they are taking on a category of gaming that has a very, like, I would say, cult core audience. Like,
For sure.
these people have they have very interesting tastes. Like, they know exactly what they want in a game that has these sorts of features. And if you don't hit it 100% like on the head, it's going to be very hard for you to like pull people from the other gaming genre. So they're also coming into it. Yeah, and even sometimes more than other categories. I think like, we've seen some pretty popular games like the Only Up game that has popped off, where it's like very similar with the old endless. You go up mechanic and then you like, checkpoint, and then if you can't checkpoint at all. In games like that, yeah, they require the thought of building, but you can get away with a lot more. You can get away with more bugs. You can get away with more of the insides and outs. But in a game like Stella Fantasy, you have to be spot on. And I think from a graphical standpoint, I agree. They're there. I have not jumped into the game yet to see the lore, but the trailer to me makes this very promising. And then even when you go on the website, there's a lot of good stuff on the website, from, the sense and the ease of access to being able to go through it very cleanly and professionally. And I mean, a year and a half ago, we wouldn't be having these same conversations, Paul.
100%. I like what you brought up about ease of access. A lot of games are making sure that their onboarding experience is super easy. You don't need to be Web3 native to play the games. You can just jump in and play. And I think that's been a big hurdle for a lot of gamers to jump in the past, 2-3 years. And so seeing games like Stella Fantasy build upon that momentum, I think we're going to be moving to a really good place. I really hope Skylar can get his mic to work here. Because I mean, we got questions. We want answers, bro. Neither of us have played the game, so we're definitely looking for some insight. Hopefully it can work out in a couple seconds. First time hearing about Stellar Fantasy, hoping to see some gameplay. Brother, you just missed a nice trailer. I don't know if you were here for that, but hopefully soon we'll be able to get you some gameplay for sure.
Where is Stellar Fantasy based out of? Are Are they
South Korea.
based somewhere in? Oh, okay. There's South
Yeah.
Korean studio. That's cool.
Yeah. Good team. They were at 3XP. Did you walk by them at all, or?
I don't think I did. I might have missed their booth entirely, which is actually kind of nuts because I did a couple of rounds. One of my days at 3XP, I woke up at like 8 a.m. and I beat everyone there just so I could try to go around and like see and chat with as many as possible. So that's me dropping the ball, I guess, if I missed that one. But I'm sure we'll find a way and a time to connect. I just want to see like get a really good sense of like the inner workings of what they're thinking behind the scenes when they're building the game, how they think about the user experience, like all of that stuff are the insights that make having, these sorts of events very important.
Yeah, for sure. I know Skylar was super excited to talk gameplay. They told me, let's focus on the game. That's what we're all about at Stella Fantasy. And from the trailer, I can definitely tell that. And I think they've got a really good community as well. I've hopped in the Discord before, talked to a couple people in there. They have the community. They have the gameplay. I think I'm really bullish on their team there for sure. Super competitive space too. So they'll make it work out. Definitely.
And we're getting some action. Shout out to Mr. Console in the chat. I will take the compliments, my good friend. I salute you. But yeah, we want some more gameplay on display. You think we could run the trailer back while we're for those who just jumped in that may have missed it?
100%. Let's have our handy Charles in the backstage working the show. Play the trailer one more time for the new audience members that joined. Out of the guest on the panel.
私の本気だよ。どいてー。
That's awesome.
Yeah, no, super good trailer. Super excited to get my hands on the game too. But unfortunately, I don't think we were able to get Skylo on. Technical difficulties happen sometimes, but I think we had a good discussion on Stella Fantasy, and I really wish we could have got some more insights. But excited for the rest of the panel. We got Phantom Galaxies coming up next. Have you tried that game out, Bryson?
I have not. I have seen gameplay on Phantom Galaxies multiple times. Multiple content creators in the space have created videos. So I am very much adept to what they are building. So I'm excited to want to get them on a chat because I actually have not chatted with them directly, but I think our paths made it across a couple of times.
What's up, Luke?
Hey, how we doing, guys?
Good
hey, how are you?
Brother.
Yeah,
loving the background.
Yeah, cheers.
Oh, dude, no, Bryson. The other day when Luke and I were first on the phone together, I found out this guy's a League of Legends player like me, same role, Pokemon guy like me.
Oh my goodness.
And then there was one other thing we connected on a deeper level, but now Luke's the boy, and Phantom Galaxies super excited about their project.
Play way too many games, just full stop. Web3, Web2.
That's how I know that you're in the right place and you're building from a place with the right heart. If you're a true gamer, I love that.
Absolutely.
100%. Why don't we get the Phantom Galaxies trailer up here so the audience can see, and then we'll jump into what you guys are building.
Let's go.
I'm excited about this one too. Honestly, all trailers are really good that have been submitted. It just gets me up. I think this trailer is so energetic. It's so action-packed.
Yeah, I was. I had another trailer that got kind of rejected because it had a bit too much juicy stuff in there. So we got the cinematic. Yeah, there's a lot going on for PG at the moment. So.
All good. Yeah, someone in the comment section said Transformers. It definitely gives me that vibe, but also Gundam. The classic Gundam series. It's definitely got that got that vibe for sure. What'd you think, Bryson?
Yeah, I was getting a little bit of both of those. I was getting that Shia LaBeouf Transformers vibe, especially when he was like flying through and then and completely transformed and pulled out the gun, and the Gundam vibe. So it's like I think there's like this quasi combination there, but very, very good trailer. Even though we didn't get to see too much of it there, it didn't give us too much of the nuts and bolts. But excited to have you on, Luke, to chat and get your thoughts about the build process, the wider landscape of how it's been in Web3 gaming. I've seen you guys around for some time, man.
Yeah, it's been a hot minute. I've been with Phantom Galaxies and Blowfish Studios for nearly 2 years now. Started as lead community manager and kind of moved into partnerships now, which is always a lovely place to be in Web3, right?
Oh man.
So we've successfully moved through our alpha, which was the first 4 episodes. Super story-based, single-player PvE experience. We're now moving into beta, which is where we're getting our full blockchain integration. We're getting our multiplayer sorted. We're getting bounties sorted for daily activity and monthly activity. It's looking really nice.
Yeah, it's polished for sure.
We've gone through our first cohort for beta, which was roughly 30 people. We kept it quite tight. We rewarded our highest engaged community members with a very specific NFT to give them access to our beta. We just moved into cohort 2 like 3 days ago, which brought in all the bounties, and it brought in multiplayer bounties as well. So we're finally getting to see mechs fighting side by side, which is basically what everyone wants to see, right?
Everybody wants to see big robotic things beat each other up.
Yeah, big explosions, man. Cool guys don't look at them.
Yeah,
and then
I got that reference.
We've got a few more cohorts coming over the next couple of months, and then we're going to move into early access, which is we're going to treat it kind of like your traditional Web 2 sort of launch. Like we're going to have some big celebrations, some big partnerships coming up for roughly September, maybe August if we're lucky.
Nice. Yeah, that was something that really excited me when we were talking about the access that's just going to be opening up to more players in the coming months. I do know you guys have given us a ton of rewards, for this event, but there's also 2 different rewards you guys are handing out as well. Do you want to comment on those, Luke?
Yeah, for sure. So along with the 500 Astropha, which is our token that we chucked in to give us rewards for the event, I've also popped in a starfighter and an avatar from our second class. So that's what's going to be gating access to our early access portion of Phantom Galaxies. So basically, all the way you need to think about it is you need a mech and you need an avatar, which is a pilot to that mech. So a fairly realistic way to, get into a game where you're basically in the military and you're a pilot, right? It's going to be pretty sweet. We're going to have a bunch of different versions of those mechs. We've got a first class, we've got a second class. The real difference there is, they're both generative. They're both going to have special traits. But the first class is going to have a player's quarters inside the game where players will be able to show off their accolades and accomplishments that they've done through playing Phantom Galaxies. The second class will have the same thing, just a slightly smaller apartment. And then, later on down the track, we're going to have some common entry-level NFTs, which is really going to break down that barrier to entry because, when you have all of these special generative NFTs, they can get quite expensive. We want to have something that's nice and affordable, for the greater audience to kind of just get in and play Phantom Galaxies with their friends.
I love that. So I have a question because this is our first time chatting, first intro into it. But with how you guys have been building, is it going to be this cooperative style world where you're exploring with your friends, you're destroying things, you're battling, and you're trying your very best to take over space? Can you give me like a sense of, as a newcomer, what I'd expect jumping into the game?
Yeah, of course, man, for sure. So you kind of think of it as like a traditional MMORPG, right? There's still going to be this big single player narrative for you to go through, do your quests, and do all that sort of stuff, right? We're very big on our lore and world building, and we want it to feel, as full and as engaging as possible. And we've seen some really good traction with our short stories that we put up on our Medium, and we're super into our lore. But there's also going to be a big emphasis on like your multiplayer raids and your multiplayer PvE. We're absolutely going to bring in some PvP. but our huge focus for early access will be more so on the co-op side of things rather than, versus.
Awesome.
Yeah, I like we were talking about it earlier with another game or before we even got started, the emphasis on the lore. For me, playing video games, like I really love diving into a rich story. It's not just about multiplayer games, but the story behind it gets me hooked. I'm a sucker for, it's a little different genre, but Witcher 3 and role-playing games. I love storylines and it just makes the game that much more fun. So it's awesome to hear the Phantom Galaxy team is focusing on story as well as gameplay.
Yeah, Witcher 3, fantastic story, by the way. So good.
I had a really interesting conversation. I think last week I was on some panel about AI and how it's going to change like narrative and storytelling. And I was saying the romantic storyline in Witcher 3 was already so, convoluted and so playing on my heartstrings. I can't imagine what it's going to look like moving forward with AI.
Dude, you should,
guys
best way to use AI, just do a choose your own story. Get it to build you a choose your own story.
Yeah, that's
so
interesting.
fun.
Yeah, that's really interesting. Definitely will have to try that out. You guys have an upcoming Planet Mint on the in July, correct?
Yeah, potentially.
Okay.
Yeah, we've got a few things coming up. We've got Planet Mint's Phantom Catalyst NFTs, which are probably the most recent thing that's coming. So it's going to be Phantom Catalyst NFTs are going to be a way for players to influence the generative traits that they're going to get through their minting process. So we'll be dropping those to holders pretty soon. It's just it's a nice way to reward our longer standing community members and holders with something slightly less random.
For sure.
Awesome.
For sure. Bryson, you got a question? Sorry, I thought I cut you off right there.
Yeah, my next question would be, you've been there for 2 years. How's as your journey has come across, you went from community manager to now like leading the partnerships realm. How has that been as you look to not only work with, I'm guessing, people in Web3, but you guys are expanding just like any other game and looking to bring in new audiences. What does that process look like?
Man, look, I'll be honest, I love it. I do miss live streaming though, as a community manager. It's because it's just so fun talking with people and playing games with the community. But it's, as a partnerships manager, it's really heartwarming to see all the like fantastic Web3 games that are out there being built. Like even in this like market that we're in, I'm still getting DMs from people like spinning stuff up, and they're super passionate about bringing the blockchain technology into gaming. It's wild. Like there's so many people that are dropping off, but then my DMs are full of proof that it's not going anywhere. It's going to hang around.
No, I 100% agree with that. We're on the same page there.
Mentally just aligned right now. Luke, any closing remarks? Because we're almost at time here. What should players most be excited about in the upcoming months for Phantom Galaxy? You've alluded to a lot, but if you had a quick pitch, any player that hasn't got their hands on the game, what would it be?
Yeah, the easy pitch would be our final cohort for beta. If you want to get in to get a taste of what Phantom Galaxies is going to be like for a really affordable price, pick up any of our Origin collection and you'll be able to play in probably the next month, and you'll be able to see what it's like. And then you can make a commitment to one of the starfighters or the avatars if you want to get involved in early access.
Awesome. There's how you get involved, guys. Definitely go take up on that process. Thanks, Luke, for coming through. Thanks to Phantom Galaxies for supplying the rewards and the NFTs.
Appreciate it.
Okay, guys. Thank you, Paul. Nice to meet you, Bryson.
Likewise. I'm sure we'll talk soon.
Have a good one, guys.
Take care, Luke.
Thank you, Luke. Man, I'm hyped on that project. Anytime I see big robots, I'll play that game for sure.
Yeah, I actually have not gotten into too many projects that have these like really huge and intricate mechs. So from my perspective, it's going to be interesting to see how they continue building out and finding myself like a way to play it, because I think it's interesting, especially when you consider like this whole like RPG or MMO element, like at a large scale in space, and the connectivity with other people. I think there's some good stuff happening there. So excited to see, what we could potentially, endeavor when we jump into that game.
100%. We'll definitely jump in. I got good news. I think Stella Fantasy has figured out their mic issue and are going to join us for a little bit. What's up, guys? At least I'm hoping they figured out their mic issue. Anyone there?
I don't really think they're connected. I think like there's like a little bar that shows like our connection, like our internet, and
Yeah, that's a good
yeah,
point.
I still don't think they're connected.
Okay, we'll give them a minute here, and then I think we wanted to showcase a couple trailers and do a quick giveaway as well. We'll give Stella a minute so far. What do you like so far, though, Bryson, of the couple projects we've looked at? What kind of catches your eye? I'm not going to ask you to pick a favorite in front of everyone, but what do you think?
I mean, I think they all look really good. Of course, from my perspective, it's all in the process of how they go and look to like be creative enough to bring in audiences that are outside of Web3. Like, I think that creative marketing is going to be like a huge piece for a lot of these games. But then it's also a thing of like gaming is inherently something that requires it's attention based. So when people are jumping into new games and finding new games, it's hard to keep them on a new game, you know? So it's going to be very interesting to see like what these guys come up with from a marketing and growth and brand strategy to keep momentum. And when they do start finding that core audience, keep people like wanting to play. Like if I have my 30 minutes to an hour, where am I going to spend it, you know? And you got to think that across all of gaming, that's going to be like what's super important. And I see Mr. Console, Bryce, let me ask you a question. With so many games, how do you prioritize what to play? So, Mr. Console, that is a super interesting question because from my angle, it's been tough figuring out like when do I want to play? What do I want to play? And a lot of people fail to realize community is currency in this space. And that currency is where the community lives and where the time and energy and effort is put from that community. Oftentimes it's going to result in there being good games and robust games. And those founders are going to be motivated to keep pushing forward, keep looking to obtain new funding and growing the space. So a lot of the times I base the games that I want to play like on whether or not I look at the game and it gives me that feeling of like, yo, I at least want to jump in. If you have that curiosity feeling when you first see a trailer, I think it gives you enough to want to jump in and at least try it out. Then you start looking around and seeing like, where's the core community lie? Are people really like, you know, deeply motivated to jump into the game? And if that exists, I think it puts you in a great spot.
Hey everyone, can everybody hear me?
Oh, what's up, Uni? I think we got it.
Yeah, so actually, I'm here for Stella Fantasy. We were having some mic complications, so I just hopped in as backup. So thank you so much for waiting for us.
Thanks for coming. Yeah, no worries.
Round of applause. Yeah, I kind of lost my voice here, so please excuse
all good.
that.
Appreciate you fighting through that to come be with us. Bryson and I were really eager to hear a little bit about Stella Fantasy. So we've seen the trailer twice. Tell us a little bit about the project, and then we'll ask you a couple questions.
Yeah, of course. So for a brief overview, Stella Fantasy is a full 3D anime character collectible premium action RPG. And what's special about all the graphics that you see here is that we really tried to make 2D anime come to life in a 3D world. And we believe that we have actually nailed that art style, and we're really proud of that. I mean, I feel like we could be proud of it. It looks really cool, right? Yeah, thank you.
No, you should be. You should be for sure.
Thank you so much. And so these beautiful anime characters are kawaii anime characters. They're going to help adventurers start their magical journey in the continent of Verania. So each player is going to experience their own frontier town, which is a land that will be used as a base to collect resources, craft gear, materials, and strengthen your characters. So it's just like every other town that you experience in RPG, except it's not like an online mass multiplayer RPG game. So it's going to be different for everyone. Like what level your mineral forge is, what level your crafting station is, etc. So for those who are new, you can jump right into the game on PC or check out what Stella Fantasy is all about through our website, YouTube, Discord, Twitter, and other social media. So we have lots of content prepared within and outside of the game, and you are going to have a Stella experience. We promise.
I love that.
I like that right there.
Thank you.
That's awesome. Bryson, I think you had a question earlier you wanted to ask, so I'll let you shoot first.
Yeah, I wanted to jump in one, just get a sense. One, I think the trailer looks great, and I think like what you guys are doing looks awesome. And I wanted to know what has kind of been the dynamic of like players like in Asia and like their ability to like take to the game very easily, in my opinion, versus like, you know, reaching out and into the depths of the United States, which is well behind and archaic in terms of like gaming experiences.
Yeah, that is a very interesting question. Well, first of all, just to give you a little brief overview about our geography, we actually have the most users in Japan. And
Well, that's
considering
awesome.
it's a very Japanese-esque style game, we're not really
Yeah.
surprised by it. But also considering that it's a Web3 game, we were sort of surprised with the geography. And apart from Japan, Southeast Asia was the biggest country that was very interested in Stella Fantasy, and
Sure.
we see a lot of user base there. And America was also in our top 10 demographics.
Oh yeah,
but
represent.
yeah, but the percentage was lower than that of Asian countries. So we're actually trying to kind of pursue various ways to break into the US market. And we are planning various collaborations, various partnerships to do so.
Also, I want to know, could we see a Stella Fantasy movie or anime or anything of that
Ooh.
sort in the future? Because I mean, the characters, like, I could see how that dynamic could play in quite easily. I know there's a lot because you guys are building so many different things at once, but could we
Yeah,
see something like that one day?
we would love to do that, actually. Well, just a little bit of background of the Stella Fantasy team. The core members of the team are actually people who used to work on this anime style RPG game, which is called King's Raid, and it was a huge hit back when it released. I believe it released in 2018, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong though. Don't trust me too much on that. But yeah, but so back then that game was such a huge hit that they were able to actually produce an anime series based off on it. So I don't see why not. We can't do that with Stella Fantasy. And you're absolutely right. The characters have amazing dynamic with each other, and we have such a cute but also intricate storyline that a lot of people can relate to. So I think definitely an anime series might be in store if
I'm
we are capable
excited.
of doing
You
that.
got two big anime
Yeah.
fans right here, Uni. So we'll be we better actually get first dibs on the show before it's even released to the public. We'll be screen testing it for you guys.
Oh my gosh, I love
Right.
that. We'll be sure to reach out to you.
Awesome, 100%.
Yes.
I do want to ask about the new characters that just dropped. Can you tell us a little bit about them?
Yeah, so actually those are new characters that you are going to see in chapter 3. Setia, the silver-haired girl, she is the character, I believe she kind of pops out first in chapter 2. I don't remember which chapter it was. I just like read through the whole story. But and she's kind of like this super obsessed girl. Like she's really obsessed with you. And
I love that.
yeah, in anime terms, we kind of call that yandere.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, it's like the crazy, cute psycho girl that's really into you. And
Okay.
then on the other hand, Nimue, she is a character who's very kind of shy, but her head is also kind of like drifting, like she's dreaming. And she was bound to this lake called the Avalon because she was appointed by the goddesses as the guardian of the Avalon. But the adventurer gang, well, the main character gang, they come and lift her from that burden. So that's kind of like a brief, very brief overview of who they are. And their attack styles, they both battle at the forefront, but Nimue is more of a defender type character, and Setia, she's like super cool. She just like whacks everyone with her scythe, and I'm super, super into that. Well, not like into that in real life, into that in terms of game.
For sure,
Yeah.
for sure.
I love the
Nobody wants to get hit
clarification.
by a scythe. Yeah, we needed
Yeah.
that clarification.
Yeah,
That's
just
awesome.
in case.
I gotta say again, I just love the artwork, and I'm super happy
Right.
you were able to get on Uni and share a little bit more about Stella Fantasy. Glad we were able to work it out, and glad you guys came through. Really appreciate your
It
time.
looks awesome.
Looks
Yeah,
great.
of course, of course.
Thank you,
so
Uni.
much.
Yeah, thanks for
Thank
coming
you.
through. I'm super hyped on that project for sure, Bryson.
It looks
but
so
I do have to say, I feel like I'm being called out by Mr. Console asking me what are my top anime shows. So I will mention
Oh,
Attack on
man.
Titan, Jujutsu Kaisen, and Demon Slayer probably
You
are my
literally
top
like
3.
named off like three of my faves of all time.
I know
Like,
we're
Jujutsu
definitely gonna have
Kaisen
to.
is like I don't think I'm not caught up on Demon Slayer, so I need to catch up on the most recent season. But Jujutsu Kaisen is for me, it was so good, and it was like a super refresher because that season was like available like once Demon Slayer ended the season, and Jujutsu Kaisen just started like
I know what you
taking
mean.
off. So you could go like from one straight into the other. So now we're
tight.
100% on the same vibe there.
We'll vibe some more after the show. I do want to say, guys, we're going to do our first lucky draw here. So we're going to be giving out a bunch of stuff throughout the show. All you guys got to do is comment what your favorite game has been. I think it's going to be the last comment or the last few comments when we call time will win a prize or something like that. So guys, go ahead and comment what your favorite game has been so far, and you guys will be eligible for the first raffle. Bryson, I got to ask you, what's your favorite game of all time?
Favorite game of all time, man. That's tough. I feel like I've played so many. If I had to pick one game, single player, probably Oblivion. Multiplayer,
nice.
probably multiplayer, 99.9% CSGO. I have more time in CSGO than any other game, but Call of Duty Advanced Warfare was like a close second for me. But CSGO is probably my most favorite and most played game of all time. I think I have like 2,800 hours in that game.
Classic. Wow. Okay, 2,800. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Dude, are you cracked? Are you nice with it, or?
Oh yeah, I'm pretty nice at CS:GO. Like my aim is impeccable. I have to get back. Like I took a break when I got into Web3, so I stopped playing it. But I've gotten back into it more over the last couple of months, and I got to get my like smokes down and all that stuff as we prepare for CS2. But I still feel very good about my abilities in CS.
One of the reasons I never played CSGO was because I grew up console, but then I got PC and I started playing Valorant, but I just couldn't get good at it because I'm a controller guy. So I just gave up, man. That stuff is so frustrating, getting one tap and being out of the game. I'd probably say my favorite game all time, and I like how you did it. Single player, I'll keep it the Bethesda route. I'm gonna say Skyrim. And then multiplayer, I think honestly, and this is just off the top of my head, I'd have to do some more thinking, but Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, way back in the day, being in middle school, growing up, classic COD for sure. Awesome. Yeah, I think we're about to welcome on our next project, Mighty Action Heroes. And guys, that'll conclude Lucky Draw for this phase. But I saw a lot of Phantom Galaxy love in there. I'm definitely excited about them as well. Cool. Yeah, let's bring on Mighty Action Heroes.
Let's get them up here.
They're waiting for us. What's up, Ben? How's it going?
What's going on, Ben?
Hey everyone, can you hear me? All good?
Yeah, we hear you well. Thank you for coming through.
You're copacetic. Cam's looking good and everything.
Amazing. Hey Bryce and Paul, thanks
What's
for
up,
having
man?
me. I'm super stoked. I'm very excited, a bit stressed out as well. So I'm gonna talk a little bit about the game. Probably present a little bit the studio, like very briefly, what we're doing, where we come from, just for context, because we're a classic Web2 dev, going into Web3. So I think it's going to help like understanding where we come from and where we're going. So
absolutely.
I'm one of the co-founders at the studio. My name is Ben. Sorry, I'm the head of art. The studio was introduced and founded in 2016. All of us are fairly, experienced people from the game industry. We worked at Disney, Ubisoft, Gameloft, LucasArts, King, Extra. We all met at King actually. The 8 of us when we started the studio. Were working at King at the time. When we started Mighty Bear Games, we were a little bit ambitious. We're still very ambitious, but in different ways. I think we learned a lot. We started making an MMORPG, just 8 people. That's a little bit ambitious, and we learned a lot from the challenges. And at the same time, we started discussing with Apple at the time. Apple was looking for people to produce content for Apple Arcade, and so they. We worked with them on Battle Royale, which is essentially a battle royale where you fight with food, very family friendly, very accessible kind of experience. And on the back of this, we started working with Disney, always, with Apple for Apple Arcade, where we made a MOBA for them where you can play with your favorite characters called Disney Mania. And I think you can probably see a little trend there, which is we're kind of our thing is to build essentially experiences that would be fairly core on PC and then bring them into a more accessible kind of, a way easier to pick up, shorter kind of sessions, less demanding maybe in terms of time required to play. And we like to call that coffee break esports, because most of these experiences are, multiplayer real time. So and that led us to Mighty Action Heroes, emerging technologies like Web3, We had a bunch of people in the studio who were really interested in crypto at the time. NFTs came up, and obviously we were very excited because, and you probably make the link, right? If you're a game that, even just as a gamer, if you've played MMORPGs before and you look at the Web3 communities and the way it's gamified, and you have like that social layer, the trading, you have this ecosystem that exists, the economy that is there, and all of that, it's essentially an MMORPG, right? So, and it's like endless and extends forever, and that's something that I think MMO players understand very quickly, right? So for us, it was like perfect use case for Web3. So we pivoted the entire studio. We're about 60 people now. We grew
Nice.
That's awesome.
into a Web3 game called Mighty Action Heroes. We're super excited about what we're building now. We also build the ecosystem around it called the Mighty Net. So we introduced 2 collections. One is a Genesis Pass for the Mighty Net, and another one is a PFP collection called the Big Bear Syndicate. They have a very specific utility that I can cover a little bit later about, but Mighty Action Heroes itself is, and I think you probably saw it from the video, cross-play, competitive, an accessible battle royale kind of game. It features a fairly deep metagame experience, which is elevated by Web3 features that are kind of opt-in. I will explain a little bit more about that later.
Sure.
It's
awesome.
Cool. So the game is inspired by 80s action heroes movies, very over the top, badass heroes with a lot of attitude. We have like a special ability in game which calls in a chopper that is just firing at your enemies, and it features a bunch of iconic, settings from those action hero movies from the 80s, like a rundown version of LA, for example. So the game itself is designed again to be fairly accessible. It's not family friendly this time, so it's kind of like we're not dealing with Apple Arcade. That's something else. It's more competitive. I would say it's definitely a little bit more serious. And you can play with different kind of hero classes. They have different abilities that you can use during the battle. They have passive. They have active. We offer a way to you have a loadout essentially for your hero, for equipment and gadgets before you get into battle. You can level up your hero, you can level up your gadgets and your equipment. And in terms of meta, we offer essentially a lot of, in terms of rewards, we have supply crates from which you can get content that you can craft with. So this is where it gets really, deep. You can craft your weapons, your gadgets, you need your blueprint, your boom dust, your shells, extra. One of the first things that you're going to be able to craft in all likeliness in the game is a gadget, a grenade, and I think all of that is going to essentially elevate your battle experience, right? It's designed for you to bring it into battle. Most of it will be obviously tradable as NFTs, including the actual content that you get from your crates to craft. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see how the economy is going to behave once we launch that. And we're building like fairly long-term strategic kind of progression with thousands of different combinations of heroes to unlock, high skill cap, meaningful customizations that are coming up. And I'll go a little bit over I mentioned earlier, the Web3 features are there that are more like opt-in. So we made a very conscious decision to make the game playable by most. So not just requiring, a wallet to connect, so I'll explain a little bit more. I think it's in our DNA to simplify things and make them more approachable, right? So we started with a few very simple things. We decided to make it a free-to-play title that doesn't require you to buy any kind of pass or anything to experience most of the game. Very low barrier to entry. And then we introduced Web3 features to elevate the experience. In order to make things simpler, generally in terms of user experience, we're going to introduce something called import-export. It's essentially a way to bring your assets on chain when you decide to trade them, when you decide to maybe, do anything essentially that would be on chain, and you can bring them back, into the game by importing them back. And we're using fairly simple terms, right? We're not using DeFi terms or anything like this. That's on purpose. It's just for people to understand. Really need to understand what blockchain is necessarily. We're going to have social login. You're going to have like custodial wallet, like, classic stuff to make just things as easy as possible. Of course, for Web3 players, for natives, they will know what to do, right? It's like they'll see connect, wallet, they'll just know where to go. But for those who don't, that's perfect. Super accessible. And I think generally we're super excited about what we're doing. It's not new, but it was very new to us at the time. And we got the entire team super super deep into building a Web3 project, hopefully in a way that most people can play.
And I feel like that accessibility that you talked about is coming from, your experience building Web2 games in the first place, which is something I really appreciate. And I do have to say, I'm not sure if you knew this, Ben, but we did do a game night in our community a couple weeks ago, and I got great feedback from some guys in our some people in our community. They had a really good time playing it. They're lucky I didn't jump in because I'm definitely better than them at gaming, I'll just say. So they're lucky I had to sit that one out. But I'm really looking forward to playing some more Mighty Action Heroes.
That's awesome. Thanks for your feedback. We need that. That's what the early access is for. Hearing back from communities, different type of players, and adjusting to that, right? Like taking feedback in and upgrading, updating, doing whatever we need to do to fix our game. Like we're still at a place where we had a bunch of early access versions of the game, closed early access, and we're ramping up towards an open beta where the game is going to be live, 24/7. On and hopefully we're going to see more and more people joining and giving us feedback.
100%. Bryson, you've played this one, yeah, or no?
I have not played. Actually, I think I did. Was it on is Mighty Action Heroes on Elixir?
No, it's not.
Okay, and then I think I played something similar, but I've not. So this is a first for me as well.
Yeah.
Well, anytime.
Yeah, we definitely need the Bryson Mighty Action Heroes take.
We're gonna have to sync up so I can jump into it for a first time. Give you my first time reaction.
Ooh, I would love that. Amazing.
100%. Ben,
Awesome.
I know I've spoken a lot to your team about the upcoming roadmap. You've talked a lot about where you guys have come from and what you've done, but what should players and what should we think, or what should we be looking out for in the next coming months? I know you guys are doing a lot of exciting things.
Yeah, absolutely. There is. Yes, so for me to make most sense of the upcoming updates, I have to explain just a little bit the fact that, as I mentioned before, there is utility for our PFPs and our ecosystem passes, which is once you lock them, which is essentially staking them, so just lock them away, you're going to be rewarded with mbits over time. And those mbits are going to be redeemable for supply crates. And we're going to introduce those supply crates around mid-July, so you can get them. You can't open them yet. You're going to be able to open them in open beta, which is coming a little bit later in Q3. But in mid-July, we're going to have a huge partnership announcement that will be, together with the first crates that we're going to issue. And along with this partnership announcement, we'll kickstart a series of 3 tournaments. There will be a prize pool of up to $10,000. So we hope to see people really getting excited about the game, and it's going to be a huge start for us. So in Q3, open beta is coming up. Game is going to be totally live. You're going to be able to open your supply crates. You're going to be able to craft finally. You're going to be able to move your assets, on chain, off chain, trade, obviously, and then there will be a shop as well. By the end, I think around the end of Q3, hopefully we'll have an Android build as an APK. So it's not going to be on Google Play Store at the moment, so people can freely, exchange the game. And by Q4, at the end of the year, we should have on-chain heroes and craftable weapons. I say should because obviously, as I mentioned before, we receive a lot of feedback and we have to adjust our roadmap based on the feedback, right? If we feel like there is a lot of stuff that we need to do to address the things, then maybe it's going to push that a little bit. But that's the goal. And then 2024 is going to be the global launch, and we're going to have, Google Play Store version and an Apple App Store version as well, like official stores with IAPs and everything.
Super exciting stuff coming. Mighty Action Heroes coming to other platforms. Definitely very excited about it. Ben, we got to wrap up. Went a little bit over here, but we're really appreciative of you coming through, and definitely very excited to play some more Mighty Action Heroes over the summer. Thank you, Ben.
Nice to meet you, Ben.
Thanks, Ben.
Mighty
What do
Action
you think,
Heroes.
Bryson? Yeah.
I think that I need to jump in and play it to give them my truest feedback. I was conceptualizing a lot of what he was talking about, which is great. But for me, it's I got to see something tangible. I got to jump in and actually give it a go. So I don't know. I'm going to have to hit Ben up. We're going to have to chat about how we can get involved and do some things together.
100%. Can definitely connect you whenever. I did see our community play, and they had a blast playing it. It's a top-down battle royale. I love the 80s anime, or not the 80s anime theme. See, I'm still thinking about anime. I love the 80s theme. Someone in the comments said something about Rambo, but yeah, their NFT collection is super sick. Definitely taken a lot of inspiration from there.
That's awesome.
Quick break. Okay, this is my guy. What up, Joseph? How you doing?
Man, I saw your face lit up with that one.
Well, we met back at GDC. I walked through the
what's up,
rain, and
man?
there was like a massive storm, and Joseph was like the first person I've talked to at a party. So super happy to have Metapixel here with us.
Yeah, really great to like be here because I was actually enjoying the like all of the panels like pretty much because there were super exciting games coming up and it was really exciting to hear what the people are thinking about their like building journey. So anyway, really thank you for like bringing us here.
Yeah, 100%. We're excited to jump into Grand Saga some more. Let's look at the trailer. I think it played a little bit during the last
Yeah.
the last talk, but it's all good. We got a sneak peek.
Oh, this is dope.
Yeah.
To all the doubters, to those who don't believe, this is the hour. They may be blind to me, just wait and see. Just wait and see. Just wait and see. Just wait and see. Just wait and see.
It's
That was
awesome.
so cool.
I love it.
Right. The
Glad you
detail goes
liked it.
crazy.
Yeah, really glad you liked it. So actually I think like I need to like introduce some more about the Ground Saga Limited. So basically the Ground Saga Limited is like being built on top of the like original IP that we have been working on the Web2 spaces before, because the MPixel, the Metapixel is a kind of Web3 division of the MPixel, which is a gaming company in South Korea. And now we are thinking about the like paradigm shift about the like Web 2 to Web 3. So we are focusing more on the Web 3 related development and attaching some blockchain features into the game side. So we are thinking that it's really important to like do what we did well on the like previous gaming market before, and maybe like bring more like new capabilities of the blockchain technology and Web 3. So that was the basic intention about why we were creating the Ground Saga Limited. So basically, it was a like cartoon rendered anime style like MMORPG that we were building on as a PC client game. And so like GSC is a PC MMORPG that boasts the unique character classes and roles, and with some kind of like gameplay significantly enhanced when the multiplayer join forces. So in GSU, we're thinking that players can create their own characters and interact with others. And blurring the line between the reality and the online gaming, I think players can collaborate to reach some kind of shared objectives or compete against the one another for bragging rights or supposed victory. So we are trying to provide some like exploration, discovery, and pioneering in the world of Ground Saga. And we are hoping because the essential of the MMORPG is like actually making people like gather into the community and like enjoy some like fun inside the community itself. So we are trying to make the people can band together with friends, communities, and some like clans to achieve goals like raids or like clan wars, and fostering a sense of achievement throughout their gameplay.
Hell yeah. No, I'm super excited to jump into the second community test in about 2 weeks now, right?
Yeah, that's right. So
How
actually,
about
we
we
did
touch,
our
or go ahead, you first.
yeah. So actually, we did our like first playtest on the GDC period that like Paul just mentioned before, because actually we were doing some kind of showcasing with the Aptos team on the GDC period to deliver the actual like gaming experience, and we thought that it's really important to like give some kind of conviction to the gamers that it's actually bringing some kind of fun, because when the game isn't really bringing some like fun, then what is the blockchain for? So that was the basic intention why we are focusing on the actual like lore of the gameplay and try to bring some kind of like essential like core gameplay mechanics and features during the first community test. And as Paul mentioned, we are heading to our second playtest, which will be containing some kind of Web3 related features. And we are doing the playtest starting from the like 6th of July.
Very awesome. I want to touch on the idol program and how do we get Bryson involved in the idol program? That guy needs to get it.
I want to jump in. This is looking good. I saw like so many, it looked like so many players in one server at once battling, and that like feels right up my alley.
Yeah, that's right. So actually, I think one of my our community manager was like trying to like connect Bryson to loop him as some kind of idol members inside the Groundswell Unlimited, because we thought that the basic intention was actually the community, like the actual like influencers or some like content creators are actually holding your community. So we thought that it might be really cool if we can bring this like gaming community inside our like gameplay and make and like create some kind of fun during their like gameplay. And yeah, well, really happy to like loop in like Bryson as our like playtester.
That'd be awesome, because I like the way it's looking. I know myself and Paul were chatting about it kind of pre-show, and he was like, "Bro, you gotta jump into Grand Saga. You gotta drop into Grand Saga." I'm like, "Dude, put me on. Give me the details I need so I can give it a go." But I mean, it is looking smooth. How long have you been with the project, or how are you like the original founder? Like, I need more details, because me and you were just chatting for the first time, Joseph.
Yeah, that's right. So actually, I'm working here as a business director on the Web3 division. And since we are using our original IP on the Web2 spaces before, so we have been working on the game development since like last 2021. But actually, to like boost the actual like game development, we were using the like same assets, but we felt that maybe the like regular like mobile gaming experience might be like a bit different when we are integrating blockchain and create some kind of in-game economy instead of games. So that was the reason why we tried to like create a new like a really like MMORPG experience by like setting up some kind of new type of game and putting more archetypes and making players to select their like classes and gather as a party. So it's sharing some kind of like same RP universe, but the entire like lore of the gameplay and some kind of like experience that we are trying to like deliver is like very different.
Man, it looks
great. I was gonna say, Bryson,
right?
you don't need to let Joseph know how much I shill Metapixel behind the scenes. He knows already that I'm always singing their praises. I'm super hyped on the project for sure.
Well, you're doing a great job of it, and I'm glad you showed it, because it is looking incredible.
It's looking great, but they do even more than just making Grand Saga. Joseph, do you want to touch on maybe Knights of Survivor and even Pacha, the other projects the studio is working on?
Yeah, for sure. So basically, we are thinking like we are trying to like create some kind of like gaming ecosystem in Metapixel, and definitely the Ground Saga Unlimited will be the first like Web3 related game being onboarded on the Metapixel. But we are anyway. I think the major like big gaming companies like worry is how to actually make some kind of transition between Web2 players and Web3 players. So that was a reason why we were also working on the Pixel Crab and the Night Survivor, because we thought that like providing some like quality games or AAA games are really important to lock in more users inside the ecosystem. But maybe it might be not really helpful to like onboard the masses into Web3. So that was the basic intention about the Night Survivor and the Pixel Crab, because we felt that actually the NFT communities or some kind of gaming communities are actually holding the users, and they might be having some like kind of gamers. So we felt that what happens if we can like kind of like create some kind of like metaverse combined like sandbox to like bring their like PFP collection as a gaming avatar and make the people actually like build some kind of game for the community and enjoy within the community. So and actually the Night Survivor was one of the like game most provided on the Pixel Crab side, but we tried to do some kind of like soft launch on the like Web2 side to like see how this like transition is actually working between Web2 and Web3. So inside the Night Survivor, we are like servicing, we are like currently like providing on the Google Play and App Store in some certain regions, because some major regions are like currently blocked since it's a soft launch. But still, like we are adding some kind of like missions to like sign up for Metapixel, and also we are thinking about maybe like doing some kind of live minting of their grown characters to bring their like gaming avatars inside the pixel as well. So these are the approach that we are trying to see how this kind of like transition works. But still, I think that the basic narratives of the Web3 gaming was something like the play to earn before, but we felt that like earn might be the second thing, because the gamer might be really interested if the game is actually bringing some kind of entertainment feature or not, because they are the gamers. So we're definitely trying to deliver some fun first. And as we are the gaming studio, I think we know what we are good at. So we are really good at building some games, but in terms of like integrating like blockchain technology and everything, our major focus is to like actually lower the bars of the gamers to like easily jump into the game and enjoy the game first. And they might be getting some like enhanced experience with the like blockchain combined like in-game economy, so that they can be connected to outer ecosystem as well. So these are the things that we are currently building on. And lastly, we are, as I mentioned, that the Pixel Fair might be some kind of like metaverse to like bring some like NFT related or like gaming communities involved into the like game system. So we are also trying to provide some like NFT collection named Catcha. And now we are working to like bring some kind of sense of the like brands, but still it will be really pretty much related to the gaming ecosystem side, and delivering some like gamers like benefits among all of the like games onboarded on the Metapixel side.
Super excited about everything you guys are building. And Joseph, I could chat with you guys for a ton of time, but we got to hop off. We got a next project waiting, but thanks for coming, Joseph. Thank you, Metapixel. Thank you, Grand Saga.
Yeah,
it's been a vibe, man. Super excited about it.
Yeah, really looking forward to like see you all in the tester pool for our next upcoming playtest.
100%, bro. Thank you for coming through.
Nice meeting you,
Super
brother.
excited about bringing our next project on. It's Aperion, one of the biggest projects in the space. But Bryson, if you want game access, just let me know. I'll connect you with Joseph and them. I'm going to be in there. For sure
I'd love to try it out. And also, I've chatted with the Aperion guys a couple of times, so I'm excited to get them on the stage, see how everything has been, and go from there. What's going on, Frank?
I think Frank's jumping in right now. Sorry about that, Frank. I think we went a little over. Yeah, we hear you well. What's up, brother?
Oh, cool. Thanks. I was just over at the Terran Spaces Twitter space a while ago, and then coming up next. And happy to see you again, President.
Likewise. How are you doing?
Good. We're busy. Launching season 2. Leaderboards just went live yesterday. Epic Game Store also got approved. Just waiting for them to upload the build, and the link will go live probably sometime this weekend or early next week.
That's
Congrats,
awesome.
That's huge news. I didn't know about that. That's awesome. Well, why don't we showcase the Aperion footage we have? I think we do. And then we could jump into a little bit more of what's going on.
Yeah.
Electric. I love it.
I gotta say, it looks good, man. Like, trailer is looking crispy as ever.
Well, thanks. It's all from gameplay, so we're happy about it.
It's looking good, Frank. Why don't you tell us a little bit about, your role at the Aperion team, and then also for audience members that aren't too familiar with the project, a little bit about the project as well.
Sure. My name is Frank. I'm the co-founder and lore keeper of Aperion. That pretty much means I do everything besides game development. almost everything. I also clean the toilet occasionally. But yeah, I'm not a game developer background. I actually just play a lot of games in the past. I was a management consultant and private equity investor back in the days, but gaming has always been my passion, and I founded the company 7 years ago. I found really great and crazy individuals to develop this something absolutely new with me. We wanted to venture into the Web2 space in the beginning on mobile, and Aperion was one of the passion projects that brought the company into existence. And what we really wanted to do is develop something absolutely new and unique in the industry. And we fixated on God games in the beginning, because God games is actually one of my favorite genres from back in the year 2000s. We don't see a lot of them nowadays, but I think there's still a huge niche audience. That's actually how we garnered such a large crowd and such a large investment in the beginning, because actually a lot of gamers from the past remember God games like Populous, Black and White, Spore, and Aperion really wants to bring that back. Right now, what we have is the battle part of the portion. There's the planet simulation and the battle. We decided to go ahead with the battle first because that's where the heavy user balancing and that's where a lot of the tokenomics will happen. So yeah, the battle is what we're testing now. God game will follow probably early next year. And yeah, this trailer here is the original God game trailer. The introduction is actually a spoof on the original Black and White introduction. These yellow chubby creatures you'll see a lot in our game and in our server in the community is the dudes. They're pretty much the dudes.
Yeah, they're cute.
Yeah, they're kind of dumb too. So they'll definitely need your help to save them, answer their prayers, and provide for them. But of course, occasionally a few of them are brave enough and powerful enough to travel along with you in battle. This is sort of like you, your profile picture avatar in the future. It could actually be a CryptoKitty, a Basie, or even an Asuki if we partner with them, of course. Yeah, right now we're available on PC and Mac, but in 2 months when we go for the beta launch, NFTs integrated tokens out, it will be on mobile, and we hope to be able to find more users over there to help us test the product and grow the community and product with us as we approach the full launch with the God game features and everything. The game, one of the main center things about the game is good and evil alignments. Always love that, and in all BioWare games, Dragon Age, Mass Effect, and huge fan of the system. And so good and evil will be a fundamental choice in Aperion. Everything you do, like how you place your miracles, what choices you make in the dungeons will have a good or evil effect, and your choices will be reflected in the world you build, in the apostles you meet, what artifacts you get along the way, how you evolve the artifacts, and it will evolve into different playstyles, and each run through will be a different experience. Yeah, but of course, we're in alpha now, so the battle is where the focus is. There's still some good and evil effects in play that allows you to play differently. So happy to just want everyone to try it. The battle system is a merger of Clash Royale, card-based real-time strategy, and some action RTS elements. It's hard to say because it's actually hard to define this hybrid genre, but it tests both your strategy, your reactions, and your, well, some luck, I guess.
Yeah.
In it. So happy to get some feedback from more users these days as we prepare for the ultimate launch.
Nice. Yeah, I haven't had a chance to jump into the project yet, but Bryson, you've played a little bit, right?
I've not played Aperion yet, but we've chatted. We've chatted and about the idea of me jumping in, and I definitely would love to hop in for season 2 because it is looking insanely stunning.
Well, thanks, Bryson. Well, looking forward to working with Vayner Sports as well.
For sure. I guess I was reading a little bit, one last question on Celestial Conjunction. It seemed like a really cool breeding mechanic in the game. Do you want to highlight a little bit more about what players can do with that and what they can expect when they jump in?
Well, when we were designing the game itself on mobile, we didn't incorporate the roguelike and the breeding elements in. But in order to fit the scope of what we envision Aperion to be and a blockchain game of what we think works, we actually implemented these two new systems into it. Breeding is actually, well, it's planet breeding. It's a little silly, so we tried to fit something sounding cool. Celestial conjunction is what planets do when they breed. And it's similar to Axie, actually. You need, because you need a planet to play, and the planets themselves are limited in the beginning. So we have this system where we allow players to breed their planets using items we call mini black holes. And the breeding system is quite different. We played Axie quite heavily, much like many other Web3 games in the beginning. And we tried to study what flaws and what loopholes there are in the economy and try to come up with our own version of the fix. Because still, we believe breeding is actually a very powerful and game feature and a gameplay mechanism that actually fits what NFTs and community ownership can be. So we designed it quite uniquely after the blockchain and after several games we loved in the past to create this type of breeding system that we call the Celestial Conjunction.
Yeah, it's an awesome breeding mechanism. I appreciate you kind of giving us some more clarity on it. Definitely sick. I'm looking forward to playing it. Any closing remarks, Frank, on Aperion and what players can expect coming up?
Well, we have two leaderboards running up. One is a personal leaderboard. The other is called the Aperion Guild Wars leaderboard. Over 80 communities joined in Season 1. We have over half the participants already registered on day 1 yesterday, and we expect even more communities joining. This reward pool in this Season 2 alone is $70,000. But the finals leading... this is a preliminary round. There's going to be 3 preliminary rounds, and the finals is a $200,000 cash pool for the best players and our PvP mode. So this is the PvE mode. It's rather new. People will need time to get adjusted to it and learn it, but a lot of the mechanisms will feel very familiar if you've played a wealth of games in your past. So looking forward for people to try and test and see if this actually works on the PvP scale together with us, and we're just very excited to have more people test. So far we have an overwhelmingly positive feedback on the game system, on the art style, and on how smooth the demo itself is. So looking forward to have more testers on here and help us grow the community in the game.
That's awesome.
Awesome, Frank. Yeah, really appreciate you coming through. Big thanks to Aperion and big thanks to Frank for giving us some time.
And thank you, CARV.
We definitely have to reconnect, Frank.
Definitely, President. Thank you, CARV, and really, really great job doing the platform. You are one of the fastest growing quest platforms I've seen, and your utility is great. So,
thank you, Frank. I appreciate that. I love the little CARV love. I think we're gonna take somewhat of an intermission and showcase like a couple trailers of games that wanted to be here tonight but weren't able to. We're over the halfway point. Got a couple more great projects.
This has been great,
coming up.
man. Like,
been a fun
talking
time.
to these different games and getting their founders' perceptions, and oh man, it just makes it. It's something I love doing because I've also loved getting a sense of what the marketing and the aspects of product building a good game looks like, and we're getting a good sense of it.
100%. And we got some heavy hitters still to come. I want to ask you, what have the lowlights been? What have the highlights been? If there are any lowlights, feel free to share, and then we'll drop some trailers and have our next guest on.
Nothing from a lowlights perspective. I think that
it's been a good time.
Future versions, I definitely want to get to where we can actually play the games live on stream. I think that's where my mind goes next. But outside of that, awesome. no lowlights for me. I think all of the games have come in and they've shown a lot. I think just getting more gameplay, because I know people like to be hands-on, is always it's always preferred.
On that topic, I think in a game or two, Medieval Empires is going to do a live demo for us here on stream, and their game isn't released yet, so I'm pretty excited about that. Charles, why don't we showcase some trailers right now of some projects we wanted to show up but weren't able to make it, and then we can get our next guest up on here ASAP. Yeah, so Life Beyond was slated to come. They had to drop out last minute, but super excited about this project.
Needs you. set off for Dolos, mankind's future home planet, occupied by very terrifying and dangerous enemies. As an agent, it will be your responsibility to fight for a brighter future and a safe settlement. First, train in our hyper-realistic VR sessions in the base of operations. Then, venture with other agents on your first assignments. Together, you will accomplish your duty and secure our new home. This can include a bit of fun sometimes. We need you to make a difference out there. Enlist today for better tomorrows.
That's a cool
Love it.
trailer, man. I like that.
It's a
That's
cool
really
one.
cool.
Yeah, their team's pretty cool, and I really wish they could have come on because I'm pretty sure Life Beyond is like this sci-fi metaverse type of game, and we haven't really had too many metaversey type games. Had a couple anime style games, which I would do a whole panel of anime games, but we got to get that variety in. So shout out to Life Beyond. Really wish they could have come through. What do you know about that project?
I know absolutely nothing. I am I am a newcomer to that one. I've heard the name being sprinkled around a ton before, but again, do not have a ton of insights on what they're building from a high level. But I liked it. It seemed like very honestly, just very chill and not over. Like a lot of games are trying to go super hard and overdo everything instead of just putting something out that can be super consumed. Like Battle Bit is a game right now that is one of the top games on Steam, and it's not very, very simple concept. So I think it's cool. I think it's cool that they're not going, that it doesn't look too crazy, and it just looks like a fun, not cartoon style, but just a very good anime-ish style metaverse where you just jump in and have fun with your friends. I think just going back to the core premise of that is what gaming is.
100%. That's why I'm so excited about some of these projects like Life Beyond. I know Today the Game is another one as well, but these kind of social metaversey type style where it really emphasizes cooperation and playing with people. I think that's where, the spirit of gaming, or at least what gets me up, is to play games, just hanging out with my friends, especially back in 2020 when everyone was gaming and streaming. It's because that's all we could do, right? There was nothing else to do.
100% agree. Very limited things to do, and with these new games, especially with Life Beyond, they have the opportunity to really hone in on that social aspect and how that can play into the growth of games and the growth of the ecosystem, because people, all these games are inherently social, and I think that's the aspect that can't be that can't be understated.
100%. Super excited about this next project, Tearing Spaces. I know they're in the background right now. Let's bring them on. They're like this MOBA, PvP, PvE style game, and it's got a lot of cool components to it. What's up, Dermot? How you doing?
Hello. Can you see me?
We can hear you. I can't see you. Bryson, can you see Dermot?
I cannot, but I can hear you.
We hear you well, Dermot. We hear you well, so don't be too stressed. We know you're here. We could play the trailer in the meantime to give you a second to figure out the camera, because I took a look at it earlier. It was pretty great, and then hopefully you're here with us.
Let me stop video on me, John. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I'm liking this already.
Yep. That's awesome. Dermot, we see you now as well. How's it going?
Hey,
finally, I had to add a secondary camera that I didn't know I had.
No, good. All good, man. Hey, we're good, man. Thank you for joining. I know it's late for the both of us, but thanks for coming on. We're excited to hear a little bit more about Tearing Spaces.
100%. Thanks for showing the trailer. We're also super hyped. So yeah, I'll give you the background. Yeah, 3v3 MOBA. We wanted to build something super exciting and competitive. As you know, the first generation of Web3 games were kind of quite boring, to be honest. Not that much fun. A lot of basic game mechanics, a lot of trading card style stuff. We wanted to kind of push the limit on that. We started from a traditional gaming studio and sprinkle in Web3 where we think makes sense. It's generally a fun MOBA. As I said, yeah, 2 teams of 3 battle it out. We are quite competitive at the in our own team, and we're just kind of thinking, how can we make a MOBA even more competitive? Is there a way we can add a time element maybe? So we decided to make a battle racer. So essentially we have 2 teams of 3 racing on opposite sides of a parallel universe. 2 monster rooms, 1 boss room. First to kill the boss wins. The fun part is there are portals sprinkled throughout the battlefield where you can shoot over and sabotage your enemy. We finished a successful closed beta, and we are launching
Here we
beta.
go. Take that.
Here we go. So yeah, we got those super bright anime colors. It's a lot of fun. Our characters are anime style. It's already ready for streaming. Bryce and I agree 100% with what you said earlier. People should put out something ASAP that can be consumed and played from the get-go. We wanted to put out something as soon as possible. We put out our demo has been free to play and on our website for 6 months now, I guess.
And this looks really good.
Yeah, so feel free to visit the website anytime, download the demo. It's going to be free to play always. That free to play aspect is kind of key to our longer term strategy of onboarding more traditional gamers, because that's where the industry is going to head. People, we're soon Web3 gaming isn't going to be a thing. It's just going to be gaming where you own your assets, and that's a narrative we really should be pushing, because it is a problem, and I think it's something that we can easily solve, and it's the perfect application of Web3. Fortnite, there's so many third-party skin sites popped up, so the demand is there for our players, and we're super confident we can have fun with that. We have our anime players, anime skins, and lots of fun, lots of battling, lots of competition.
I mean, I 100% agree with you. And I love the way the game looks, because they're just like the movement mechanics feel so smooth just from watching it. But this is the style of thing that people are looking for in different waves and shapes. And it's not always having to be this, ultra AAA FPS game that's overdone, but a really high quality game that people can pick up, whether it's on your computer or on your phone. People can jump in and watch streamers play it. It looks like it checks off a lot of boxes. And I mean, just for me watching this, I actually want to jump in and give it a go. So I'm going to download that demo and get my own Tearing Spaces kind of experience on.
100%. Top down, 2.5G or whatever you call it. Anime style cartoon. We think it looks super nice. We have something like, I think there's like 150 unique attack animations between weapon skills and character skills, so it looks super nice. And again, we've had this demo up for months. It's ready to go, and we're going to get better with each release. Our open beta is going to have a lot of new features. We added 2 new game modes for our closed beta, which was our last release, and ready to go, ready to play.
Yeah, I don't know how long.
We're quite proud that it's so far along, and as you said, we'd rather a super fun, super slick, super smooth game that's ready than waiting for years for a AAA game that never really comes. So, and we've seen much of that.
Absolutely.
We're ready.
I do gotta say, Bryson and I are both anime game style lovers. We've had a couple on, so we definitely are showing love to Tearing Spaces as well. Why don't we talk a little bit, Dermot, about the Genesis weapon airdrop that is coming up, or just happened actually, and a little bit about the rarities.
I'd love to. So I mentioned earlier we had the closed beta, and we kind of like to gamify everything we do as much as we can. So we said, how can we kind of make this closed beta a bit more fun? So what we did was we had our first mint in March of our PFP avatars. but it's more than just that. It's a Game Pass. What we did was we airdropped those Game Pass holders a closed beta pass card, and you essentially use that card to download the beta and play the game. We had those pass cards double as a ranking system. So essentially, the more you played the game, the more battle points you earned, the higher in ranking your pass card game. And whatever band you fell into in the leaderboard, you were airdropped a Genesis weapon of a certain rarity. And just quick shout out to CARV. I know a lot of your community were playing. I think we had 2 of your guys in the top 10. So
yeah, we did. We represent
to you guys. But yeah, that went super well. We have our Genesis weapons airdrop done after the closed beta. We have our final weapon mint coming up on July 24th. So we're going to have our first round is going to be an allies round. That's essentially a collab round. You'll see Tearing Spaces, which should be all over. It's already beginning. Yeah. We're all over Twitter with collaborations. So follow those collaboration partners. They'll give instructions how to enter, and you are in with a chance for a whitelist 300 limit whitelist, and then we will have a follow-on round of the weapon mint after that. Combination of free mints, discount, and public. So those are our mints, and those are the celestial weapons. There's a lot of cool stuff we're going to be dropping. I can't drop too much alpha at the moment.
Oh no! Oh man! All good. we want it, but we understand.
Yeah, but those those Genesis weapons are essentially the Genesis weapons have been dropped. There's going to be additional weapons in this upcoming mint, but they're not going to be the same as the Genesis weapons. The attributes, the damage and stuff, it's the same from a playable perspective, but the Genesis weapons will be involved in something special. That's all I can say.
We wish you could drop more alpha, but we appreciate the stuff you're sharing for sure. And I've taken a look at the artwork for the weapons,
so
and they look awesome. It's a great,
our
team
actually our devs have a background in animation, actually, which is perfect for this. A lot of the guys are animators. Yeah.
Nice.
So, and we're just so lucky to have the team we have, and we're leveraging that animation as much as we can. We're actually launching a second manga series. So every time we have a new release or a new asset,
more lore. I like
and
that.
Also a new version. Yeah, more lore and more manga. So you should see that coming up. We have our first the front page of the comic book series done. I'm not sure if we published it. I've seen it. It's very cool. So stay tuned for that, for more lore and manga.
We're definitely staying tuned for sure. Bryson, do you have any other closing questions kind of for Dermot and Tearing Spaces?
I mean, outside of me jumping in the game, I don't have too much. I thought that it looks really well done. And I like that the different map and landscape layouts. Like, I'm a big fan of art in multiple styles. And I think that it goes unseen that video games can also like be super artsy and like creative. And this is what you're getting out of the game so far. So I'm excited to like jump in. I'm going to download the beta and give it a go, because I think it's just so damn cool to look at. But I guess if I had to leave you with one question, as you look to expand, because I'm guessing this is also going to be on your phone, what has been like the biggest hurdle with there being NFTs and having to deal with the Apple App Store and figuring out like how that world is going to work?
Yeah, so we're actually currently live already on the Solana Saga. We're one of the only games live on Solana Saga. Mobile is key to our future plans. It's the mobile gaming market it's crazy. It trumps all the other markets combined. We want to have people playing this on the subway and having fun. So it's key to our growth, key to our onboarding of Web2. And one thing we've noticed is that there's as much, in addition to the number of amazing games coming online, there are a number of amazing solutions and tooling. So not only are there great builders building games, there's great and very smart people building a lot of cool solutions for custodianship and wallets. We were looking at, I think it was I forget the name, but I think it was Hyperplay. They were injecting a MetaMask wallet directly in the DirectX Vulkan API, which is crazy, which I just thought was so impressive. So at the moment, it's still early days, but we're going to have, our initial thinking is outside of some cool tooling, which I've already touched on, we're thinking, like you've seen in certain crypto apps before, a standard and a pro version of the app or of the game. or a basic and pro version. Basic is your standard non-NFT game. You play as you usually do. You have fun, and you get some in-game earnings. And then when it inevitably comes to the time where you start asking, as traditional gamers tend to ask, is there any way I can trade this and cash this out? Then we'll find a way to bridge you over to the pro version, and that's where you can activate your NFTs. So we're going to use this also as a massive learning tool for teaching gamers about the industry as well. So those are our initial thoughts, and subject to more innovation as it comes.
That's awesome. I remember in our first conversation, you touched a lot about onboarding, traditional gamers, and I love what you guys are doing on that front. Yeah, thanks for coming on, Dermot, spreading, some alpha about tearing spaces. Next time, we're definitely going to be asking for some more, but always love talking to you guys.
Definitely.
Thanks a million for having you guys. Have a good one.
Appreciate it.
Cheers. Bye.
Yeah, tearing spaces
That
and
was awesome.
their team is awesome. We talked to them quite a bit, have done a couple collaborations. Great team over there. For this next project,
I was really impressed. Really impressed with what they were doing.
100%. Medieval Empires is coming on next. Kind of a different genre than games we've seen so far. More of a RTS kind of city builder, I think. Luke, don't kill me if I got that wrong, but that's how I would describe it. What's up, brother? How you doing?
Hey, what's up, guys? Just a shout out to you guys. You're doing an amazing job getting all those games together. And 100%, we're different, a little bit different than the games that we've seen so far, since we're a strategy game. But love to be here. And you two will definitely get a whitelist spot from me for upcoming
there we go.
second early
I
access,
love it.
which will be in 7 days. We just announced it today on our socials. So I will drop you both on Twitter a message. You send me your wallet and some money. No, just kidding. I just need the wallet. And then we go ahead. Yeah.
Absolutely, man. Looking forward to that whitelist for sure. You're doing a live demo of the game right now as well, correct? Or just showing some footage on your own?
I already shared my screen. So we actually have the game out already in early access. So you have the world map. On the world map, you have all the different countries where players can settle, and it's directly connected to OpenSea. And you see that's my place over here. And the goal is to build your army, fight against invaders. So you see over here, that's the dev build. I also have the live build with me, but I think that's enough. And you see that those other players are settled here on this land. I think you get the look and feel of it, similar to Age of Empires, Clash of Clans kind of style. And once you have your army, you can go ahead and fight against other invaders. If you have more people on your land, you can fight against them together. So if this dude would be online right now, which is one of my team members, then he could play together with me. And bear with us, we're in alpha, so more and more features will be enrolled. So this will be replaced next week, also with some cool battle scenes and some more army fighting in here. In order to get there, you need to build your town. So that's the town builder. You have your resources that you need to collect. You can train your heroes over here. The cool thing is I have a build where I can instantly do everything over here. So you have your hero, which leads your army. Then you can fight against others. You have your cavalry. You have your archers. And then you build your army. And later we will have PvP, which will come soon. I think that's more kind of Bryson kind of genre, if you can fight against others. So right now it's just PvE. You build your army. You do the whole town thing. Like every time you have bigger upgrades, then everything will change the look and feel. You will get more stuff that you can build over here. So that's the town builder. Then you go to the province map, attack those invaders. You can choose if you're a Kahi or if you're a Crusader. For the Kahi, we actually have an actor called Engin Altan Düzertan. He's pretty famous. I think I always call him, it's the Jon Snow Game of Thrones guy from the other part of the world. Once you have everything, you can play with your friends, which is currently happening. So they will be able to invite their friends, and then you can fight against those invaders over here. And build your empire. Later on, we will bring different factions. There we have historical battles where everyone needs to fight against each other, and then we open up a new land over here on the world map that you see over here. And in the future, so the goal is to have a game economy which is ever growing. So we have NFTs also in the game, which are basically, I wouldn't say dying. How does our game designer always says it? They have a durability. Once they're done, you can attach them to a new hero, so you don't have those overpowered players. So you can play it every day, go in, do some quests over here, increase level of any hero or whatever, like all those quests that you have. And then you can fight against others and enjoy the beautiful world of medieval empires.
It sure is beautiful. Different type of artwork than we've seen so far tonight or today, wherever you may be. But I definitely love the world map and what you guys are building for sure, Luke.
Yeah, we do continuous release. So at the moment, the features are limited since we're in the alpha version. We also have some trailer stuff and everything, but most of the time people want to see how the game actually looks. So we brought the game with us. And that will grow over time. We will have more features coming into the game every 2 weeks. So every 2 weeks we ship something new. So
Nice.
hopefully the players will love it. It will be free to play soon. So in January we will have the public version where everyone can play. And until now only landowners can play. And later everyone that holds our token. We launched our token in December last year. Looking forward to more players, and I think we will use CARV a lot for that because you have an awesome audience over here. So shout out to the community that tuned in here. I see you also have a Twitter space up and running. Love it. Happy to be here today. How you guys
doing? It gives me Age of Empires vibes, which is dope because I have a group of friends that go super hard on AOE.
Yeah. You can tell your friends to go super hard on medieval empires. Let me know.
Sure.
Send me the wallets, and then
they don't have wallets yet. But if you shoot me over a way to get them in the demo, I could probably get their thoughts on it quite easily because they go like 5-6 hours a day AOE, and I'm sure they'd be open to trying something new. Yeah, they are serious about AOE. They play in tournaments and everything.
And you know what?
Go ahead, Luke.
Soon we will also have a custodial wallet, so they don't need to have a wallet by themselves. So the onboarding procedures, they get a wallet from us, basically. They own their assets, and they don't need to know any crypto stuff because, like, I know that 3.6 billion gamers, they have no clue how this works over here. So we give them a custodial wallet. They can play, and later on, if they decide they like what they see, they can use those assets, trade them and everything through the custodial wallet. Looking forward to this one. I'll definitely give you a DM on Twitter or wherever you want.
That's awesome though that you guys are thinking of the custodial wallet and how to onboard traditional gamers, making it easy for them. Kind of curious, Bryson, if you want to give the streamer perspective and kind of what's it like playing these different type of strategy games that may not be as exciting to audiences. Like how do you guys kind of engage this type of content?
I think it's very much dependent on like who you're playing with. So like I'm normally playing with a group of guys and we're like bantering the whole entire time that we're playing. So it kind of like
it's entertaining.
Changes, it changes the perspective on like how you play a real-time strategy. Now, if you're just cracked at the game and there's like, the competitive audience behind there, it can get really, really intense in a good way. But for me, it's like the banter is what matters the most to me. So normally if I'm playing a game like this, it's me and my homies. We're in there playing. We're attacking bases, we're sneaking people, we're creating weird alliances, all that good stuff to make the game like, to make it really give off that sense of like, oh shit, we're just vibing and having a good time.
Yeah, and that will be implemented as well. Like I think the streaming part, like if you have a PvP game that's where you just go slash and slay and whatever, I think that's always more streamable unless you have a cool group of friends. That's why we have this piece of land where you can play together with your friends, and later we will have all the animations. You can move your armies around, similar Command and Conquer style kind of thing. And there was a question about what you can own from those assets. So the whole land that you see over here, that's owned by you. You can rent that out to those other players here that you see. There are similar villages over here. And that's what you can rent out to other players. So that's an NFT. Then the heroes will be NFTs. I don't know if that's a good word, NFT. I hear a lot of people hating that term. Let's call it digital collectibles or stuff like this. So you can own all of this. The resources, you can bundle them later and trade on the marketplace and everything. So yeah. Would love to have your guys on a party once and we play this game.
We're there no matter what.
Fun.
That sounds like a good time for sure.
Yeah, and again, like in January, we will drop the public version. That's what our key goal is, to have a free-to-play game where everyone can join. And we want to focus also on the Web2 audience, since like this is a big-time strategy game. So we want to have a lot of players in there. And through all those players, I think then the game will be more fun. Because we will have those big battles on the map for future factions, and you can play together with your friends. And I think that will be the fun edge of the game. Currently, it's you build your town, you fight invaders, and build up your resources and everything. But later, when it comes to PvP and fighting against each others, having those different quests, I think then when the fun part will really kick in. I'm looking forward to this one for sure. Yeah. Do you think it's streamable, Bryson? Or
I think if, like I said, I think if I have a group of guys, I could probably stream it. If I'm playing solo, I probably wouldn't, just because it would like I'd just be sitting there trying to figure it out. So if we could put a group together, like a community game night of like 5-6 people, and we jump in, I'd be down to try it out.
Bryson, count me in for that one. I'll come support for that for sure. I think we'd have a good time. I'm definitely not going to take it easy on you though, man. I played a lot of Civilization and Age of Empires. I'm coming for Bryson as soon as we're on that map. It's on site, bro.
Yeah, we hear that a lot, and we actually do game nights with the team from time to time, and then like the 90% of the time it's just chit-chatting about who has the best tactics, who builds what, and whatever. And I think that what it all comes down to, like this community feeling, that's what we also focus on. Like we have a big community through our socials and everything, and we want to like really engage the gamers together, that we build a fun environment where they can play together, have fun together, and looking forward to working that out together with CARV as well. We also have a surprise for you guys. We wanted to do the whitelist giveaway with you guys. So
Nice.
we're also giving away 10 whitelist spots, like 12 now, since I will also give you 2.
Let's go.
the spot over here, and maybe also to the other founders that have been here, like really amazing people. Love what you guys build over here. So I don't know what's the details on the giveaway. How do we run this?
We're handling it on our side for you guys, but yeah, there will be 10 Medieval Empires whitelist spots to give away for this for sure. But Luke, thank you for coming on as always. Great, thanks to the Medieval Empires team and you for dropping in and giving us some more information on the projects, or on your project, sorry.
Yeah, it was
always
awesome.
a pleasure to be here. All
Thank
right,
you,
guys.
Luke.
Have a nice
Appreciate
day.
you.
Enjoy. Bye-bye.
Bryson, bro, I got to be honest with you, man. We're coming up on 2 hours. We got a couple more projects left. They're great projects, but I don't know how you do this streaming stuff, man. I don't know how you grind like that.
Dude, it's 2 hours. It feels like it's going by. It's going by really quickly.
We're definitely having a good time. Yeah, go ahead.
Normally I'm like 4 hours. We go for 4 hours normally. So for me, this is like, we're just cooking with grease. We're on fire. We're moving. We're putting in that time, cranking the clock, which is great. But I mean, all these projects are good. So it's like really focusing on like what's in front of us.
All these projects have been great. And on the topic of what's in front of us, I think the remaining 4 or 5 are some of the best on the panel as well. We got
Nice.
Shatterpoint next. Champions Ascension's coming, Shrapnel's coming, Splinterlands, and then Metalcore as well. But definitely having a good time. I think Shatterpoint's already here, so we can bring them on if they're ready.
Perfect.
But it's been a good time so far for sure.
Yep. Hello.
What's up,
Hey,
Shatterpoint?
hey.
How you doing?
Hello. Yep. Hi everyone. I'm Lorinas from Shatterpoint and Vlog Games, and yeah, thanks for inviting.
Thanks for having us.
Pleasure having you.
Thanks for coming on. Where are you calling in from, Lorenas?
I'm calling in from Vilnius, Lithuania.
Nice. Very
If,
exciting. Okay,
if
well,
that's on your map, I don't know.
I know it's like Eastern Europe in the top part, somewhere around there, but I couldn't really.
Yeah.
I think I would miss it if I had to point to it on a globe. But why don't we show the Shatterpoint trailer and then jump into it a little bit? I think we started and then we lost it. So just give it a second.
Maybe
Here we
we
go.
pulled up the wrong one. There we go.
Okay, maybe, yeah, there we go. Charles is going to get an earful after this, don't worry. Awesome trailer. We've seen some awesome trailers tonight, and every one of them have been really energetic. Why don't you tell us a little bit about, what we can expect from Shatterpoint?
Yeah. So, what you've seen in the trailer. So it's basically our first world, and all in all, Shatterpoint, as you can see, is an action RPG game inspired by, I would guess, Diablo, Torchlight, or similar action RPG games, but it's mostly or entirely for mobile, and it's kind of a simplified version of those hardcore action RPGs. And in Shatterpoint, time and space have become unstable, and every week a shattering is happening where the universe collapses and everything goes down to zero. So your hero is just set back to level zero. You lose all your equipment and everything. And while that would seem uncanny for the most of the games, but every new season, the things that you lost, your equipment, everything was devolved into shards, and you can spend those shards to buy more equipment for the new season, and then level up quicker, buy better equipment, and then use all those skills, newly acquired skills and the newly acquired items in the PvP arenas, which will also on every week are reset, and then you every week has a new leaderboard basically. So it's a mix and mash of action RPG PvE model and PvP model in terms of gaming. So that's from my end, it's for me, it's personally very exciting.
Super exciting. I think it's a free-to-play action RPG, like you said, on mobile as well. Did you mention that part?
Yes, exactly. So as mentioned, it's a free-to-play action RPG on mobile.
Yeah, Bryson, I feel like everyone that's come on so far realizes how big mobile gaming is going to be, and are either already developing a mobile game or a mobile version of the game, or it's exclusively mobile.
Yeah, I think we have a huge influx of mobile games, but I want to ask, so how long have you guys been building the game, and what has the process been like, kind of enduring the ups and the downs of being, a Web3 game?
So we are not, I wouldn't call ourselves like entirely Web3 game. We are a mix of both. We want to, the goal is, to bring the fun first and then use Web3 only as a technology, to boost the game, not vice versa. From from that angle. And yeah, the game is in development. I think I don't want to lie here. I think for a year now or so, or even a little bit more. So yeah, and most of the ups and downs, is to find the right balancing in the PvP PvE model, which is really tough, considering that the PvP needs to be like equal for everyone to entry. It needs to be based on skill, and for action RPG, and even on mobile, where you don't have the full on keyboard and the mouse and all this, maneuvering around. So this is the tough part, and analyzing that and trying to improve the game on those angles. This is probably the hardest part, I would say.
100%. And then you guys are also from Block Games is a subdivision of Stati Games, right? What is that one studio that you guys are also a part of?
Yeah. So we basically, all of us work here at Block Games, who are responsible for Shatterpoint's publishing in general. And Shatterpoint is developed by our parent company, Astoti. So Astoti is like a widely known mobile games developer here in Baltics, and has over 200 millions of downloads in various games, etc. And Shatterpoint is their like first Web3-ish, more not so hardcore title, and we on Block Games are publishing it basically.
That's awesome. I kind of want to ask, what has the experience been like from moving from developing Web2 games to Web3 games? I feel like that experience is pretty essential to kind of gauge Web3 success and make a fun game in Web3. I feel like a lot of games just, make a Web3 game, to make a Web3 game and forget about the fun component.
Yeah, I don't have a direct answer to that, because I'm not on Astoti's team, but basically, so what we're doing here, so we are mixing up the two powerhouses and knowledge bases. So we are here at Block Games, are experienced in Web3, in launching Web3 stuff, and from various angles. I mean, the people are experienced from that aspect, and Astoti is good at building games. So this is, powers combined, trying to make it happen.
100%. And so the game's still in early access. When can players expect it to open up some more? Or how do you get access to the game?
So for now, the game is in closed alpha, and the accesses are given in various events on our socials, on Discord. So yeah, please follow or join Discord, or write to someone from Shatterpoint, and you might get lucky to get the closed alpha invite. But soon, I don't want to spoil everything yet, and then shoot myself in
more
the
alpha. No,
leg.
we love the alpha.
Yeah, soon we'll probably have like more open alpha before moving to the beta version of the game. So yeah, follow up. It's coming pretty soon.
Awesome. For sure. I kind of want to ask also as well, for people that want to be game developers, what's one thing you could really give, advice on, since you guys have built great games before and are working on this game as well?
Fun first. Nothing more.
Nothing else matters. The game's got to be fun.
Matters. Sorry. Yeah, we can think however we want, but fun first for games is like is mandatory.
Yeah, it has to be done that way for sure. And for the most part, I think if you do have that ethos and that scope, you're going to find an audience, and that audience is going to begin to give you the feedback you need to keep pushing and progressing the game. So that's the best part about the entire feedback loop of what building for game first moments and experiences create.
Yeah, couldn't agree more.
Absolutely. Any closing remarks, kind of from you, Lorenus, about Shatterpoint, and what's the big thing players should expect when they load up the game, when they get access to it?
Was a very good question. Wasn't ready. So
all good.
The next big thing is, of course, we're moving towards a more open alpha version of the game, so we'll allow more players to play the game, and more players will be available to access the PvP and everything. So just follow the news on Block Games and Shatterpoint, and this is coming this summer. This is the core message for my close up.
Awesome. Awesome. No, it was good. It was a good closing message. I mean, I definitely have access to the game. Other people should message and spam people at Shatterpoint to get access as well to play it.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for coming. Thanks to the Shatterpoint team for
Appreciate
dropping in.
you.
Thanks for having us.
Awesome.
Thank you. Cool.
Ooh, home stretch, man. It's been a good time. All these projects have been fun. I do want to also remind the audience a couple things. So I noticed that games have been being spammed in the comments the whole time. We closed off that earlier raffle, but we could definitely start another one because we did have plans for multiple, but I'll let you guys know when that comes. And then also make sure to go mint your badge after this on CARV. That's how you're going to be eligible for all the great rewards that these games have given out. What have you thought so far, Bryson?
I've had a good time. I think my favorite game that we've reviewed so far is probably Tearing Spaces, just because I thought it was like a really cute integration. Stella Fantasy, close second. But dude, it's been great. The audience, they're still typing in their favorite games in the chat, which is to me hilarious. Like Need for Speed Most Wanted, a game I put tons and tons of hours into, Pokemon Gold and Silver. So they're still typing and doing their thing, and the games are coming in. We've had a couple that couldn't make it, but the trailers have all looked very great. And again, like, man, this is what you need. You need more spaces where games are put into the open and they're able to, you know, really start sharing their narrative with audiences, and hopefully we can help them reach new people, but also, you know, give them new perspective on how they should be building.
Absolutely, brother. And on the topic of games that couldn't make it, we want to showcase a trailer really quick of a couple of the games that we're thinking about coming but couldn't, and then we'll give some thoughts on those as well after. Go ahead and cue that up whenever, Charles. Someone's a big fan of you in the comment section, Bryson.
Yeah.
MD, Ovi.
Oh, yeah.
Schichter.
Much love,
I'm not
MD.
sure
Much love. I appreciate you, brother.
Set off for Dolos, mankind's future home planet, occupied by very terrifying and dangerous enemies. As an agent, it will be your responsibility to fight for a brighter future and a safe settlement. First, train in our hyper-realistic VR sessions in the base of operations. Then, venture with other agents on your first assignments. Together, you will accomplish your duty and secure our new home. This can include a bit of fun sometimes. We need you to make a difference out there. Enlist today for better tomorrows.
Hell yeah.
I know, we saw the live John, but I think we're taking a look at another one right now. I do love that Mighty Action Heroes one.
Yeah, that was smooth.
I think we're just doing a recap of all the trailers really quick. Just shot you a message on PG too, if you want to take a second.
To all the doubters, to those who don't believe, this is the hour. They may be blind to me, just wait and see. Just wait and see. Just wait and see. Just wait and see. Just wait and see.
Super stoked on Grand Saga Unlimited too. I know our community's hyped on that one.
The age of war has arrived. Our leaders stand divided. They did not seek this conflict. But there is no time for doubt. This is the time to rebuild, to expand, to explore the unknown and seek new alliances. This is the time to fight, to defend, and to conquer. For this is the age of honor, courage, and glory. This is our age.
Yeah, that was heat. I'm really excited to have Shrapnel on. I think they're set to come in the next 5 minutes. I know it's on their calendar. We got their head of the game. I think that's his title, but I think it's more like just anything under the game
Head of the
development.
game. I love that.
It's something like that. Something like that is going to be joining us. I got to meet him the other day. Super excited to jump into that one for sure. We just got a recap of all the trailers we've seen, but man, they're all so good. I can't really pick my favorite one.
Yeah, I mean there are some bangers in there. I think that Shrapnel is going to come in and just continue to, I would say, keep the expectations high of good games coming in, because they are absolutely crushing it. And we both were at consensus and found the time to play Shrapnel. What were your thoughts when you jumped in?
So one, and I kind of alluded to this earlier, I was really sad that there wasn't controller support at consensus, because I am a controller gamer. I am okay at PC. I was absolutely thrilled with the game. I had a really good time. It's got a really cool way you can play for the people that don't know too much about the game. So the game mode they had a consensus, you would basically collect the stuff that fell from the asteroid in these containers, and basically it's an extraction type of game. You want to get out of the map with the most points possible. So you can either spend your time collecting them or hunt down people that had them and then pick it up from their body. And I had so much fun, taking somebody out, killing them, and then picking up their loot and seeing just a ton of forget what it's called, Sigma, picking up that Sigma and then just running off with it and getting ready to win the game. And like I said, I did have a high score for a bit at consensus, so I had a huge time. What'd you think of the game?
I thought it was fun as well. I jumped into it, played alongside Myth and some others, and dude, we just had a good time. Especially when you're getting the kills and you're like just navigating the map, it feels good. So I mean, I enjoyed every moment of it as well, and I'm excited to see how they keep progressing and building, because it is one of the leaders in the space, especially in the category of gaming. Like FPS is like my backyard; it's my bread and butter. So I'm often spending a ton of time on the FPS circuit and things of that sort. So it's really cool.
Awesome. And speak of the man, Colin appears. Colin, what's up, man? How's it going?
How you doing, guys? It's good to be here.
Good to have you. Yeah, we just played the Shrapnel trailer and we're talking about the experience at consensus. We both had an amazing time playing the game. And I got to mention, Bryson, I think we were there at the same time for sure, because I definitely saw Myth. I should have said what up to you, but next time for sure.
Yeah, we probably were.
But yeah, Colin, give us a quick introduction of yourself and then the project. Obviously, a lot of people are hyped on the game. They should know what it is, but would love to hear it from you.
Yeah, right on. So I'm Colin Foran. I'm chief creative at Shrapnel right now. We were a group of founders that had been all over the game industry, doing a lot of things like games publishing or just weird, like weird technology stuff like VR. There's a lot of streaming, a lot of this other stuff. But when Web3 really started to become real and sort of get a heartbeat, we thought we had the talent, we had the expertise, and it was time to try to do something new. So about getting on 2 years now, I guess, we started to spin up what we considered like a first-party studio builder, and that was the Shrapnel project. So, we have so many moving parts on it. The project is huge. It sprawls across a number of different different value streams. But the first time we really got to put it in people's hands and get them excited about it was at the convention, like what you guys were just talking about. And that was the first time that we really got to see people play it and experiment with some of our best guesses, right? The way I was trying to describe it to the team is a studio usually doesn't get the chance to evaluate their first best guesses unless they're lucky enough to have a sequel. And for us, we were able to say, we think that this is Shrapnel enough. We think this is the direction that we want to go in. And seeing people respond to it at the events were just that was crazy. Just as a founder, it's I wonder if we're ever going to get to that spot. And then just to see people coming back to the booth and trying to play it and bring their friends and just not evaluating it, but just having fun and screwing around with it. That was just such a cool time.
Yeah, I had a great time playing
experience for both of us.
Go for it, Bryson.
No, you could jump in. I was just gonna say I really enjoyed the experience because it was my first time seeing it and actually being able to play it live, but being able to jump in, and it was super cohesive, and the game played very well. The shooting mechanics played well. I got to get better with the actual aiming down sights because that felt a little bit shaky. But outside of that, I had a wonderful time with it.
Yeah, no, and it's interesting too, because there's so much more to it now. That was the thinnest sliver that we could show to people. Like, it was an extraction shooter without the extraction part yet, right? But we just wanted to show people how we were thinking about movement and combat, what some of the environments were going to be like. And even now, since we came back, like, the team is aggressively cutting into what we learned with those things. So the game, like, totally plays different now as we're starting to get, the accessories and the counter tactics going back and forth, and the actual extraction itself, like with different asset types and sigma types. So, like, I don't know, I'm excited to give it to you guys again. And, like, Bryson, it's good to see you again. But, like, we're going to have to get you into the studio and just have you kick the tires on the thing and make sure we're on the right side of justice.
Yeah, I would love to. Anytime you guys want to pull me in to just come in and shooting things, and because FPS is my backyard, that's where I have I spend most of my time. So any way that I can be assistance and help building this incredible game, because I think graphically it looks great. Yep. The message and story behind how the game actually works and what the game mode is, it's fucking sick. So I'm excited to see how I can be valuable in that effort as well.
No, totally. I mean, we'd be, foolish not to pay attention, man. Like, we got to get the right people in the room and try to beat them up a little bit.
I gotta say, Colin, I may not be a big streamer like Bryson here, but I'm down to come to the studio and play the game as well too. Give some feedback whenever. I am an operator holder. I'm a supporter.
Very nice.
I do gotta mention the insignia stuff that's going on right now in the UGC looks really cool. Can you explain a little bit more to the audience, about what that is and what's going on with that?
Yeah, I mean, I can't get over how like quickly that's taking off, but we've said a lot as a studio, like we're smaller, like we're like 60 or 70 people, and we're trying to punch above our weight and fight with these really entrenched Web2 companies. So the way that we've gone about that is always trying to like do the small thing, check it out, put it in front of the community, like try to be Web3 about it, and then add and add and add. Because if we ever have to like look behind us and turn around, like we're fucked, right? We're just not big enough to be able to do that. So the idea behind the insignia creator is, what's the first thing that we could put out that isn't just us showing proof of life? It's something that the community can grab and run with it, right? And so the smallest part of UGC that we could do is basically this insignia creator, where like as a studio, we thought it would be cool if after people made their designs, like they own it and we are effectively leasing it to use it in our game, right? Like you can take it immediately off chain, go wherever you want with it, sell it, whatever. But for us, it was really important to say we've got this small asset and we can show it going all the way through the pipe, right? Like, permissions are there, attribution is there. Like it's a real honest to God Web3 thing. And so like you can kind of squint your eyes at it and say like, okay, I get it. Like that's pretty dope, but what's the deal? Eventually that's going to be custom maps and that's going to be custom weapons. And it's going to be operators that people have outfitted and said, this is a special, very distinct loadout. And that's how I'm going to build my brand. And that's what I want to do with this stuff. So it's very much like, the very first version of the very first version of the thing. But what I can say is it's working. And we've got those other elements like really dope next gen skinning that is working in the pipe as well. Like getting those map creator tools stood up. Like, I've been beating on that drum for the last year. And now we're finally at a point where you're starting to see it, like you can boot it up and start to play with it. And like, if we can do a fraction of what we're hoping we can do, it's going to be fucking sick. But like, you just need to be patient. You need to be diligent and like, just do it the right way. Like this is the part of the project, because we had a couple of like base hits after the conventions, like where we could just spiral off in a million different directions. And so we have to say like, no, like we're actually doing it the right way. Like toe the line, like just do it the right way. And so, I thought it was like people like interested in that sort of like UGC would get into it, but it just blew up. And it's like, it's not like people are going in and trying to mint and saying like, good job, we'll see you on Twitter later. Like people are living in that tool now. And I just like, I'm like suspicious of it now. It's like, it's going too well. Like, what are we going to do? Like, when's the other shoe going to drop?
No, I definitely think you guys are doing it the right way. Some of our audience members too, definitely as well. People are commenting that Shrapnel is definitely going to compete with Web2 titles, which is, there's the comment I just read. Super exciting to see. Wanted to ask you guys about early access coming up. Because you mentioned we only saw a sliver of the game at the convention. So what can players expect in early access?
So right now the studio is entirely oriented towards early access. Mm-hmm. And I think, I don't think we've announced it yet, but that's going to happen a lot sooner than I think people think. We're trying to keep that momentum going after like the successes of the last couple of months. So what we've been going through now is just understanding what, like we call them MVPs, like the minimum viable product. And it's like, we need all of those representative systems in the game, right? So like, say there's a shrapnel storm and now it's like raining ash on the ground, and as people walk through like this dead section of town, you're actually tracking them through the footprints that they leave in the ash. That's really cool, but that's like, if that's going to be an integral part of the game, we can't have it cut off, right? Like, it's got to be in there. And so we're going through that process of just saying, like, what is the least amount of shrapnel we can have and still have it be shrapnel? And so that's going to be the thing, like, like the different counter tactics and what you're doing with different, items and abilities and all the rest of that stuff. So for me, I'm just excited to see all of this stuff that we talked about, like, a year and a half ago, 18 months ago, starting to get into playable versions of the game. And so while that's happening, we're just spinning up like the content creation, right? Because with these big, like, AAA games, it's all about the content creation and standing up armies of artists just to try to get enough in when we need it, right? So that's all super dope. It's coming online right now. And one of the interesting things, like with this whole Shrapnel ecosystem, is all of the rest of it's coming with it, right? Like that marketplace is coming with it. The insignia tools, the map creator tools, like that's all being built at the same time, trying to march in the same direction as best we can. So when it comes out, it shouldn't feel like anemic to people, right? Like it should be like, oh, holy shit, this feels like a AAA game. Like, where did this come from? I mean, you guys are going to know, but for the rest of the community, or the broader community at large, I think it's going to impress people.
I'm definitely looking forward to that point, and definitely going to jump into early access for sure. Bryce, do you have any last questions for Colin from Shrapnel and the Shrapnel team?
I mean, Colin knows I'm a big fan of the game, big fan of what they're doing. So excited to see how we can find ways for me to jump in and be a testing arm of it. But I mean, I know the audience at home would love to know just what inspired you about the idea of ownership in a video game and made you guys think the future of this belongs on chain in some aspect. Because, to your point, you guys could have just made this a completely Web 2 game and it would have crushed it regardless. So any thoughts you could share on that?
Yeah, I mean, like I'm always of the opinion that you need to be able to explain why you're doing what you're doing to a 5-year-old. And for us, it was just you shouldn't have to go to Reddit to sell your Warcraft mount. That's stupid. That's it. That's the entire thing. And like, as this idea of these different game ecosystems where assets can live in different places start to become more real, and that is absolutely going to become more real. There is just this idea that like an asset needs to know what it is outside of where it was made and where it's going, and that's it. And like, is blockchain the ultimate answer to that? I don't know. Is it a super valid answer to it? Absolutely. And so for us, like, every single day, like when I wake up, we always have to ask, like, is this making the thing better? Like, for Toby the gamer, like, can they come in and do something different in our ecosystem that they couldn't do somewhere else? And so far, against all odds, it seems like it's coming together. And like, for us, that game is always going to be there. The free-to-play thing is always going to be there. But, as long as there's something people can do with us that they can't do elsewhere, and that thing that we're doing actually helps make the industry better, like by showing people, not telling them, like, you have to give them a thing that they can do. That just feels like we're kind of just moving the needle and doing something important, and that's a really rare opportunity just ever,
Yep.
I love that.
Absolutely. Yeah, I appreciate the answer too. Colin, I think you guys are building a great project and there's a lot of hype around it. So it's a testament to your work, and really appreciative of your time for dropping in and coming to talk to us about Shrapnel. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and it's good to see you again, Bryson.
Likewise. We'll talk again soon.
I'll see you.
Thank you, Colin. Have a good one.
That was awesome.
Yeah,
they're
crushing
it, man. Shrapnel's A1, like a true image of what the community in Web3 gaming should be around, like game dev.
Absolutely. I think this next project is pretty. That description fits this next project as well. We got Champions Ascension coming up. Peyton, the marketing director or CMO,
nice,
from the team, is joining us right now. What's up, Peyton? How you doing?
Yeah, what's up, brother? I think you're muted.
Nah, he's good now. I hear him.
I don't hear you guys. 1 second.
Okay, all good. I hear Peyton. What about you, Bryson?
I hear him now. Yeah.
Okay, cool. I guess we'll show the Champions Ascension trailer while we work out the audio issue. Yeah, I'm psyched about this one.
I'm here.
What's up, Payne? How's it going?
You guys doing? What's up, man? I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Bryson, congratulations on XSET.
Appreciate it, brother.
dope,
Good
man.
to see you again, and
Dude.
congrats on the role with Champions Ascension and all the great work you guys are doing over at Wolves.
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. Yeah, we're all trying to move it forward, man. And you getting signed was like freaking epic too. And so we're still building, man. A lot of good stuff happening.
Can't stop, won't stop.
No, can't. No way.
I love it. Speaking of building, one of my first questions, and if the audience doesn't know about it, I'm excited for them to learn. What was that Old Sally event? How did it go? It looked like a massive success. And how was 3XP?
Oh yeah, 3XP. Bryson actually was on stage with it. See all
That's
the
great.
frustrated faces for World's First. That was pretty awesome. But yeah, so in terms of the dev cycle for that, it was like took around 4 months to actually complete Old Sally. And when it came to like 3XP, we really wanted to get everybody involved, similar to like what you guys are doing here at CARV for like everybody coming on here. Shrapnel, I was listening into them on YouTube before. And similar to like what you guys are doing, it's like having all these people participate in kind of this special time. I think of it as a special time in terms of this bear market. Like everyone's gone in terms of the hype chasers or any of like the content creators that were doing it more for opportunistic type of things. Like everybody in terms of the content creators, like you have Stash, you have Bryson, you have all the way down to like shout out to like, you know, Elisa and like Rex and like all these other people that are coming out of like the woodworks during the bear market is pretty awesome. But also just the builders too. Like you saw that at 3XP. Like I think whenever you went around like the show floor, like everybody was there that were like legitly building and like we shared a passion with. In terms of Old Sally, yeah, it was getting all of those people that are kind of left in the bear market and trying to get them to rally around the Old Sally event, which, you know, I thought was a very, very big success. And Bryson's team actually came really close. They got to 10%, almost was world first up on the live stage.
There we go. I didn't know that. Yeah, I got my ass kicked back here. Was not having a good time with it.
No, I think we could have beat it if we had 1 or 2 more goes. I think we had a decent team comp. It was a lot of fun. Like me, I think it was Medios, Classy, and 2 others, Yasuo, and then 1 more person. We were getting like really super deep into it, and it was just a good vibe for sure.
I was so
and that's
surprised
the co-op
though.
aspect.
Yeah, I was so surprised though, Bryson. Like whenever because we didn't like really expect the stage to do that well. Because like you guys like, you know, Yasuo, like I know you played it a little bit, but like Classy's played it with a little bit, but like Yasuo and like all those people like never touched the game. And it was just like amazing to see. Like that's why you guys are you guys were up on the stage, but like it was I was very shocked that you guys were that close. I really was.
Yeah. Dude, and it was cool, and I'm sure like you guys got some really cool learnings from seeing people in the cooperative space like really hone in on the differences of like what are the multiple characters you need, how do you get through different parts of when Sally's like you know energy stealing versus the different moves. It was a really cool engagement, and you know it really rejuvenated my thoughts on it because I hadn't played the game I think since the first time you guys launched it openly to people was the last time I played.
Yeah.
And jumping back into it, I was like, man, this thing has come a long ways.
Yeah. Yeah, that's something too like that I learned from the team too. I was in the same position you were, Bryson, but like I got hired by the team. Obviously, if you get hired by the team, like you like dig deep and like you see that like these people have been building like since the mint, like everything is like so hype driven during like our world, like okay, who like won the last mint, right? And then like you follow them for like a little bit, but then like it just kind of dies because the other games come out. Especially as content creators, like we were making sure that like we're trying out and we're trying to expose the new upcoming games. But yeah, like there's like Champions Ascension were like just silently building throughout this whole time. And I saw them at this Old Sally event. And one thing too, and this is just a little bit alpha too, is that Hyro, who's our head like game design person, he said like, you know, we also got a lot of feedback too, and this is important to us. But like the pacing, you know, the pacing, seeing our characters in a PvE environment is a whole different type of thing of like, okay, the pacing actually might need to like increase a little bit. And like that clunkiness feeling and all that stuff. We don't actually shy away from like the feedback that we got from 3XP because we got a lot of learnings, like you said, not just from like, hey, this was a good event, but also like on Twitter too. Like we got some feedback that wasn't like, it's not that they weren't unkind. They were just being honest about like their experience. And like we took all of that and we're actually currently building upon that foundation for the next few months. So we're super excited about it.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome. It kind of brings me to my next question. I know you guys are merging to Polygon right now, but what should players expect in the next coming updates for Champions? What are those gameplay features you guys are building upon?
Yeah, so one thing that we're building on is getting all the families out, so all the characters out. That's like probably our most like let's say it's probably the most thing that we're like focused on over the summer. It's getting all those families out and like for people to play like with their own assets. The other thing is like really fleshing out like the partner economy that we're doing is like for other people to host like a tournament. Like so Bryson can host his own tournament. And we're even trying to get some smart contract stuff enabled for that at the end of it. So like it can be like a reward. That would probably be a test pilot. But also other than that, we have like our Chrono Imperium, which is like our in-game rewards things moving forward. That's actually going to be launching next week whenever we migrate to Polygon. That's actually the reason why we're migrated to Polygon. And so like people can start collecting because part of our game is actually an RPG element, but it's a lot of it's like Chrono Imperium is kind of like that first like bit for that. And so that will be big. And then over the summer too, we have something called the Maestro Towers that are coming out, which is you look at it in terms of Mortal Kombat, like those levels that you have to kind of like you beat. That's something similar to what we're trying to do, but like our focus is like very much the partner economy. So if Paul, you want to, or Bryson, you want to, you can make your own tower and like you can, other people can like challenge like your tower, kind of like Clash of Clans style, but like Mortal Kombat style, where like you have to beat levels and there's rewards at the top of it. And what we're trying to do too is like make those rewards like NFTs or something like that, like something that like you guys can do. So we're pretty much giving like content creators, but also like people that don't have a game that like want to promote. The person that comes to my mind is like Rex, right? Like really good promoter, really good in terms of production. It would be really cool to see him like live stream like his Maestro Tower, people trying to like do it and he shoutcasts all the way up. So it's cool things like that we're trying to enable over the summer to enable content creators, enable like businesses, and enable like partners of our game to like actually put out their content out there.
Hell yeah. And I like how you said Paul can partner up. I'm definitely down to be a partner, even though I don't have that big of a reach. Let Paul partner up and get his tower. Payne, any closing statements on Champions, before we call it?
No, just thanks, Paul, and thanks, Bryson, for hosting us. I know it's quick, but like I love what you guys are doing here. And Champions Ascension, it's free to download. I will say that it's like free to download. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we have it open. We just opened Southeast Asia because the Southeast Asia is actually pumping numbers. Like in terms of the Old Sally event,
been a theme
it
tonight.
Attracted a lot of Southeast Asia players, and people are like grinding out Old Sally and all that stuff. So you can download it, play Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and over the summer into fall, we're going to be trying to figure out the times that work for everybody.
Hell yeah. Awesome. Make sure to download Champions Ascensions, guys. Thank you to the Champions team and Peyton for dropping through.
Thanks, y'all.
We really appreciate it,
You're
brother.
the best. Yeah, we'll get some
Thanks so much,
for dinner
man.
sometime soon. All right, guys.
Definitely.
Peace.
Peyton and those guys are really cool, man. Always love talking to them. All right.
Dude, they're crushing it as well.
2 more to go. Let's bring Splinterlands on. I know they're backstage. Super excited to have Liam from Splinterlands. What's up, Liam? How's it going?
Hey, good, thanks. How are you guys doing?
Doing
Good,
well,
yourself?
man. Doing well.
Doing well, thanks, man.
I think we're going to play the Splinterlands trailer as well, and then we can jump in, ask a couple questions, and then I'm sure everyone knows what Splinterlands is, but in case they don't, we could talk about it for sure.
Yeah, give us the good stuff.
Awesome.
They should be coming. See. If not, we could talk always about Splinterlands. Well, while we wait for the trailer, Liam, why don't you give us, here we go. You can talk over it as well. Why don't you give us a little bit about, what the game is for people that may not know and what's kind of coming up for Splinterlands?
Awesome. Yeah. So for those uninitiated, Splinterlands is a digital trading card game built on the Hive blockchain. We are a game similar to what you would find in a Pokemon card, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Magic the Gathering, where you own every single one of your cards on the blockchain itself. Super easy, frictionless onboarding experience. You don't need to know how to set up your wallet or anything else. There is a kind of simple spellbook onboarding process where you can get a spellbook. It'll actually create your wallet for you. And then when you set your username, that actually becomes your wallet address as well. But really simply put, Splinterlands is a kind of auto battler game where you essentially get a rule set. When you launch into a game, you're able to pick your summoner, which buffs all of your monsters, and then you're able to pick up to 7 monster cards, and then those auto battle it out. Everything's verified on the blockchain itself, so you can actually go through, see who won. A whole bunch of third-party tools really built against that as well, where you can actually go and say, hey, these monsters have the best win rates, so on and so forth, and be able to really kind of max min everything there. But moreover, there's also a whole economic aspect on the back end. So we have two different cryptocurrencies, really primary in the game. One is SPS, which is our governance token. We have our DAOs fully launched at this point with validator nodes running, where really we're able to help shape the future of the game through staking SPS, where that kind of is a system where we'll put proposals forward or community proposals are put forward. And then by means of staking your SPS against the aggregate of everyone staking SPS, that determines your voting weight. And then you're able to determine kind of what's next for the game itself and how you govern it. We also have dark energy crystals, which is our kind of in-game cryptocurrency. And that is more of a cryptocurrency that's going to be related to, hey, I want to buy cards, rent cards, and everything else there. Really nice thing is you can rent cards. You don't need to go in and spend hundreds of dollars to get into this game. You can spend literally cents per day to play it and then make that money back by actually winning rewards by playing games. The thing that's on screen right now is going to be one of our upcoming projects called Soulkeep. So still in the Splinterlands era and kind of whole universe there, but it's going to be a tower defense game similar to what you've seen in kind of Bloons Tower Defense, Kingdom Rush, the other likes of those kind of big games. Still going to be all Splinterlands characters that come through. There's going to be some new monsters to it. There's going to be new packs that are coming out or already released, I guess, called Nightmare Packs. And so you're going to be able to get those towers, upgrade towers, and eventually there's going to be more utility where you're going to be able to actually stake Splinterlands cards from the Splinterlands game into Soulkeep, which is still going to run under the same Splinterlands domain, but will be a separate game. And by staking that, there's going to be some interoperability between the games where by staking cards, will power up towers, kind of so on and so forth there.
That's awesome. Yeah, I feel like Splinterlands has been, one of the biggest games in this space, consistently, one of the top 5 on DApp radar for unique active wallets and everything. It's probably because you guys keep the game so fresh and keep updating it with new content.
Yeah,
and stuff like this.
Yeah, so we'll try and do bi-weekly releases, and those are everything from just kind of quality of life changes, from what users have asked us to kind of recommend and then put into the game, all the way through to new updates like tower defense. We were just releasing land, so we did a huge land sale a couple of years ago. You can still buy it on kind of third-party markets, but completely sold out in game. And what that's going to look like in future is really going to be this whole system where, I mean, think Farmville meets Splinterlands meets Web3, where you're able to actually stake cards to your land, able to farm out totems, which are going to increase the yield and productivity of farming on those lands. You'll be able to actually get NFTs out of it. You'll be able to get upgrades and weapons and everything that will power up your cards in the game itself to give you advantages out there. There's really going to be this whole system. And then on top of that, too, we're also going to see a whole kind of Battle 2.0 redux, which is one of the videos that was playing a couple minutes ago. But we're going to be completely reanimating and redefining our game itself and how it looks. So there's going to be a complete graphical update. Everything's going to be animated. There's going to be new sound effects, so on and so forth put in, and that will be coming fairly soon here as well.
That's awesome. No, super excited for that. Any closing statements, Liam or Bryson? Maybe a closing question for Splinterlands before we wrap this one up.
Yeah, I'd love to get a sense of how easy has it been for newcomers who aren't in Web3 to find and go through the process of jumping into the game.
Yeah,
that's a great question.
A great question, and we're always looking to kind of keep improving on that onboarding experience. So it's actually one of the roadmap items is actually revisiting onboarding and then making sure that we're still kind of top tier of how we do that. But right now it's super easy. You come in, you get your spell book. That spell book, again, you'll ask for a username that you want to set for the game. That username then becomes a wallet address. We actually create your Hive wallet on the back end for you. Once that's done, you're able to start collecting NFTs, playing the game for free. It's more of a freemium model where you can play with what we call soul-bound cards, or cards that you don't own, but will kind of designate to you. And then if you want to start earning rewards and everything else, you do have to own those cards or rent them. But again, everything's built into the game. You don't need to use third-party markets like OpenSea or anything else to acquire all the NFTs. It's a fully integrated market in the game itself. All the wallets integrated into the game, so super easy to kind of mix and match there.
That's awesome.
I love that. Seamless onboarding has been a theme tonight, and it's essential to get these traditional gamers into the games. Liam, thanks for coming through. Thanks to Splinterlands for also coming through. Appreciate you guys, showcasing a little bit about the project and what's on the horizon. Thank you, man.
Thanks so much for having us. Appreciate it.
Nice seeing you.
Good seeing you, Liam. Bryson, we made it, man. One more project. It's been a long one. I definitely want to say thanks to the audience.
I mean, it's worse for you though, because it's midnight for you, right?
It's good, brother. I'm used to it. In gaming, you're up all night. But shout out to the audience. We're doing another raffle for this last project. Just comment the favorite game you've seen so far, and you guys will be eligible for it. Also, a huge shout out to Bryson. He's been a great co-host with me. We've had a great time. And with that, let's bring on Play Metalcore and one of
Let's
my
do
favorite
it.
people in the space. Let's bring on Jerry to talk a little bit about Metalcore and stuff. What's up, brother?
So I always feel like it's weird coming in and there's no like applause going on or anything, you know?
Charles, drop the applause for Jerry. There it is.
There we go. There we go.
I get you right.
Best for last, brother. How's it going? How's it going?
That's good, man. Good. I know we're on like opposite ends of the spectrum here. It's like morning for me and midnight for you. So yeah, I'm super pumped to be here. Seems like the show's been going well so far.
Show's been really fun. Bryson and I have been having a good time. The best part's been the great projects that we've had on, and obviously we got another one here. So we're gonna play the Metalcore trailer. We'll talk a little bit about it, and we'll wrap up.
Cool.
Whenever it comes on. Here we go.
Do I play it?
No, yeah, you're good, Jerry. We got it going right here. Super tight, super tight. And honestly, Jerry, I don't know if you knew this. We had Phantom Galaxies on earlier, another mech kind of based project. So I'm glad we kind of started the show with Phantom Galaxies, kind of ending with Metalcore, but it looked great.
Yeah, thanks, man. You know, I think one of my favorite things like about that trailer, I was talking about this yesterday, but you know, like with cinematic trailers, it's like it's easy to get kind of like duped into things sometimes, right? I think one of the things that we always try to pride ourselves on is putting as much like gameplay in those trailers as we can. But like even the cinematic parts that are put in, you can have that moment like in the game. You know, there's that that shot of like a plane flying through by a base and shooting one of the turrets, and like I do that every time I play the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, though it's the cinematic part of the game, like of that trailer, you know, that's those moments are all moments you can have like playing the game.
Absolutely. And I appreciate, you know, not the transparency, but making sure that the moments in the trailers are moments you can have in the game. That's huge. How was 3XP for Play Metalcore, and how are things going, and what's on the upcoming roadmap?
Yeah, man, 3XP was awesome. I think just as a show, like just being able to showcase like some of the higher quality games that we have, and there was a couple missing, right? But you know, really having this space to show off like what I think are more of like the higher tier, like, you know, kind of S tier projects that we have.
Absolutely.
You know, in the space was really cool. Yeah, we were received really well there. I think, you know, we didn't really, there was nobody that came and played the game that like didn't enjoy the experience that they had, right? So
yeah,
you know, it's always cool. It's always a little nerve-wracking, like when you're on the game development side to like show off like an early stage game, because you're like, man, like, do I love this, but other people aren't going to receive this very well? And you know, it's always cool to know that like people think you're building something that's cool too.
Yeah, I think Shrapnel had the same feeling where it's like, we're going to showcase the game now. Are people going to love it? And they were like, people do love it. It's probably an amazing feeling. And I'm really happy for you guys at Metalcore for sure.
Yeah, it's rewarding for sure. You know, kind of short-term roadmap, you know, we have another, you know, pretty big activation we're doing next month, in-person activation, and we'll do that like surrounding our playtest. We're going to activate some more, you know, partnerships for our next playtest, and really starting to hit that point where we're, you know, scaling the user base, you know, into the game. So, you know, we're pretty comfortable with our infrastructure, with our gameplay loops. So now it's time for us to kind of start scaling, you know, users into the game, and you know, that's where that'll start, you know, late next month.
That's
absolutely
so sick.
And I think the project's good enough, and we'll get the users for sure. Bryson, I'll lob it up to you. You can ask the last question, kind of the show here. Make it a good one.
I've got to jump into Metalcore quite a while ago, and I saw the potential there. It plays really well. So I guess my question to you would be, based on where the game currently is, what are the biggest factors you think that will come into play in attracting that new audience that you guys are looking to capture?
Yeah, not to have like the most like no fun answer of all time, but like just good gameplay, right? Like it's that's what it's about at the end of the day, right? Does blockchain kind of enable us to have things that can enhance the gameplay experience 100%, right? But that draw is not going to come without, you know, just good gameplay. And I think we have a really unique experience in that we're an open world, you know, competitive based, like, you know, we're an FPS game, you know, there's elements of like any FPS game, but like the game is about territory control and a user-driven story, right? And user-driven lore. So, you know, with like our faction system that's in the game that's just constantly at you know, in battle with one another, you know, the game is going to be like ever evolving and ever changing, right? So you might go to sleep and have captured, you know, 2 tiles on the map, right? And you might wake up and have lost 6, and so you're at a net negative, right? And so I think we have this game and this gameplay loop that's really conducive to, you know, building out, you know, a 1,000-hour game as opposed to being like a shorter kind of style of gameplay. You know, there's a million extraction shooters out there. There's, you know, Call of Duty and you know, team deathmatch and domination style modes. We have all elements of all those things wrapped into an open world kind of large scale combat game.
It looks great, brother. I'm excited to jump in. Thanks for coming through. It was a pleasure, and we love the Metalcore team, man. Excited to see more from the team.
Appreciate you guys. Love what you guys are both doing kind of collectively on your guys' ends. So keep it up, man. Thank you guys.
Thank you, Jay. Appreciate you.
Thanks again.
Thanks, Icy.
Yes.
I see you, amazing man.
For sure. Awesome. Well, we've made it to the end, Bryson. I want to say thanks for doing this with me the whole time.
This was great, man.
It was a good time. I thought we saw some great projects. Anything that really caught your eye before we wrap up here, or some closing statements?
I mean, they're like the staples. Like I think Metalcore and Shrapnel have just been consistently killing it. You have Splinterlands, who's shown that they know how to like really target their audience and do well and iterate. And you know, I like I said, I enjoyed Tearing Spaces. I enjoyed Stella Fantasy and some of the newer stuff that I got to take a look at. So excited to see what they come up with next. But I mean, I had a great time with you guys, man. CARV, you guys are crushing it, and I'm excited I made my own account, so I'm excited to jump into the platform and see what else is out there for me.
100%. Shout out to all the games that came through. Massive shout out again, Bryson. It was a really fun time. We're gonna have to vibe out on some anime some other time. Great thanks to the community and the audience that came through. And guys, be sure to head over to CARV to mint your badge from the show. But we got another 3 weeks of great stuff coming from this campaign, and thanks to everyone that came tonight to kick it off with us. Thanks again, Bryson.
Thanks. Take care, guys.
Cheers, guys. It was fun. I don't know if we just did.
Yeah, Maddox makes art. I said your name. Thank you for everyone to tuning in, and it was a great show. And thank you everyone. Thank Paul and Bryson to join, and you guys can go to the CARV.io to CARV the badge and join and start your journey there and to win some prizes. Say my name. Yeah, he did it. I did it. Yeah. Shout out to everyone. Thank you everyone to joining. And we're playing all the trailers that we hosted today, and you can see their brilliant designed trailer and also the gameplay. Hope you enjoyed the show, and we're gonna have a long week to run the Summer Fest and Summer Game Fest, and we will have like a beta testing opportunity for you guys. So if you want to actually try the game, play the game, and have the great opportunity to first experience the game, and also you can also stream the game. So stay tuned, and we're gonna start tomorrow. All the show will be on CARV.io and also on our YouTube channel. So follow us on Twitter, on YouTube, on all the social medias, and also definitely check us on our website CARV.io. Yeah, hey, why you said awesome show. Thanks for hosting. Yeah, thank you everyone for joining. Yeah, a link. Please visit CARV.io, CARV.io. You can find the badges and also win the prizes for participating. We will have the lucky draw there as well. You can get our platform token germ and also other in-game assets, and also have the opportunity to play the game first. So any games that you've seen today, you want to participate, you want to try it will be a great opportunity. So head to the CARV.io to find out more. We're gonna have a great show tomorrow, and there will be also the beta testing, the game streaming. So be sure to check it out, and definitely subscribe to have more gaming info, and also some great collaborations down the line. Yep. So thank you everyone. Anyone want to make a shout out, feel free to comment down below. We're gonna also put your name up to the front. Yeah, Maddox Makes Art, thank you for joining. Stay tuned for tomorrow. The show will be start at 2 p.m. UTC time, same as today, or maybe half an hour late than today. Yeah, so stay tuned and to have some experience, some gameplay, to join us on our next panel talk about the UGC and AIGC. You guys definitely wonder after the Apple released the Vision Pro how everything gonna become, where the Web3 will finally, the metaverse will finally be real. We're gonna discuss all those topics tomorrow, so stay tuned. Yeah. Okay, so that's about it. Thank you everyone for joining in, and if you want to see more content, want to see more gameplay, and also we're playing the trailer that's those games has been participated, their founder or their core members have talked about it, we have interviewed them, we talk more about the games and also their development. Feel free to subscribe to CARV YouTube channel. We're gonna make a briefing and also a video about it, so in case you miss that the opportunity to watch the whole show, you will still have a chance. Great question. Where's the best place to see my carved badges? You can visit CARV.io, and also on OpenSea. All the badges will be on chain, so you'll be able to see that, and we will provide you all the gamers with the profile page. You can show off your stream time, your Steam playing time, and also the badges that you own will be able to show there as well. In your wallet. Yeah, if you are Web2 gamers, you don't know what is a wallet, it's okay. On platform on CARV.io, you'll be able to showcasing all the badges you have, and also all the achievements that you owned. Yeah, if you carved, yeah, for sure. Yeah, thank you everyone. Yeah, we will keep playing the trailers, and all the projects have been participate in today's live show. Yeah, I love these projects. Aperion, if you haven't played them, definitely check it out. It's a great game, and also a fun game to play with. Yeah. Yeah, I see still like many people are stay in the channel, stay in the live stream. Thank you so much for participating in today's live stream and to hear what we discussed with the other game titles founders and also their core members. We'd love to share you guys more about the game, and stay tuned for tomorrow's panel talk, and we're gonna have a week live streaming the beta opportunities. Stay tuned on CARV.io and also subscribe on YouTube to watch us when we go live. Yeah, the game too hard. Yeah, true. I played the game a little bit. It was hard. It is hard. Yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to shout out in the comment section. I will read all your questions. Yeah, and this is a great game as well, Terran Spaces. We talked with our founders before, and we have several AMAs, and now the game is already live. You can purchase the NFT and also play it on your phone. It's a super fun experience, and their community is also super interesting. Yeah. Achievements hunting. I'll follow you back. Thank you. Yeah. Stay tuned on our CARV.io. We are still in the beta version though. There's many things that we are trying to develop. It's not like a short run for us, but we're gonna definitely make something happen in the spaces. Yeah, all your achievements or your gaming moments will be on CARV. Yeah, and it will become your profile, your gamer resume. So feel free to follow us on Twitter to know more about our updates.
No time for doubt. This is the time to rebuild.
This is also a great game, Medieval Empires. The founder has showed us during the session. He showed us the gameplay, which is quite unique and also quite epic. The map is super large, and you have many things can do with the game. Yeah. Thank you everyone for joining. We're gonna have a show tomorrow. It's gonna be a panel talk. We're gonna discuss about the UGC and the AIGC. So if you're interested in those topics, you want to hear from like our partners, the Artiverse, and several projects that we invited. You want to hear from their perspective, definitely tune in for that show. We're gonna also live stream on YouTube and also on Twitter as well. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, definitely. We're gonna have giveaways during the Summerfest, so be sure to check it out and join our events. You'll be able to swap the germ into MSI laptop in Cup Shop. Yeah. Thank you, Tana. Good luck. Yeah, thank you. That would be cool. Yeah, PS4 too. Yeah. Yeah. In CARV, we're all about gaming. So, yeah, we have a very, very fun community that we always play together. Yeah. I'll be there. Yeah. Metalcore, definitely. Yeah, Metalcore is a great game. Shrapnel is also like watch this trailer, man. It's great. We definitely have a strong collaboration with them, and yeah, and I'd love to play the game. And our colleagues has already played this game. It's a super fun game to play with. And the scene, man, it looks great. Yeah, exactly. We'd love to have collaboration with the Sandbox and Axie Infinity, but we see that they're also developing something great. But in like this year, as we talked many times, is a great year for Web3 games. I think definitely there's some great projects coming up, and we would love to share more about this, like great opportunities, like the great beta testing opportunities, and also just showcasing those great games to you guys. That would be super fun. Be nice to Sandbox. Exactly, they are the leading projects. Yeah. And Axie Infinity, I follow them for many years now. Like recently, they have some great updates. Nice. Voxel artist. Great to hear. Maddox, if you want to join our community, we have some graphic campaign as well. If you're good at designing graphics, or yeah, if you want to have fun with our like community, feel free to do that. The Sandbox is what got me into Playturn, definitely. Yeah, I can't agree more. Like, yeah, more info in Discord. Feel free to join our Discord channel. You can follow us on Twitter. You can search CARV, CARV official. We have a brilliant Discord channel. And there's so much stuff happening there. So if you want to join and have some fun with it, feel free to do that. How people will be attracted to play new crypto games with these helpful boards? Yeah. I think it's simple, but it's also super hard, right? Like just creating great games, the fun games that people will love to play with. But that's the core of games, right? Rather than just earning tokens, there's always be a fun, like as a core of the game. So we'd love to see that. Yeah, we're also happy to see that many games have been great titles are developing. So yeah, and we will be the frontier to witness all the great games developing, and we also proud to be the partner with them, and go along this journey. Yeah, this is a Metalcore. It's a great projects. We have AMA with them previously, and also have some game night in our community to actually invite our community members to play this game. So it was a great fun. We're almost reaching the end. This is also a great game, Shatterpoint. It's quite animated, but the game itself is easy to play and also fun to play. the interaction is simple, but the graphics and also the the PvP and PvE part is super fun. Yeah, Splinterlands is also a famous and also quite leading projects in Web3 space. So happy to see them growing and developing new games, game style, and also invite people to play with it. This is also Splinterlands. And last but not least, that's I think all the projects that we have. So thank you so much for joining. Happy to have you guys here. Stay tuned for tomorrow's panel talk. We can have a great time there. Follow us on Twitter and also on YouTube, and join us during the campaign season. We are hosting the Summer Game Fest from today to July 6th. So there's numerous events happening, campaigns happening in CARV.io. So stay tuned and follow us on social media, and visit us on website CARV.io to find out more. Thank you so much for you joining today, and stay tuned. Thank you. Bye-bye.